Windbound and Mania technology.
Who?
Mania.
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 My bad.
Mania business. What's going on? All right, end the stream. It's 2 o'clock.
Wait, man. There goes VCIG. I hope y'all are holding. Here comes 310. There's 314. This is ramping into the highs, 314 high. Look for the quarter dollar. If the quarter dollar fails, look for support at 3. If it doesn't hold 3, then there's like a triple top into 290. Just going to give you some levels before we get off the air. The 10 EMA on the 5 is showing 273, 275. So that could be an area of import as well. But if this one clears 3 and clears it decisively, this is going to go. So be on the lookout here. VCIG, him, her, whatever else there is out there. It is really going. Look for the break above there. Shout out to Mark9670. He's dropping 2 in the chat, Joey. Thanks for the VCIG call out. I made $1,000 today. That's a fantastic look there. And very pleased for you, man, honestly. We hope all of you guys are printing multiple storms on that side of the screen. Otherwise, you know what? What's the point of us doing this, right? Like, and calling out these things over here. So there you go, Joey. VCIG's continuing to go. And we see the Katina man. He's long 309.15 on the dead one Apple. He's also been short Softy for as long as I can remember on the day. Shout out to the Katina man there, 418.95 short. He's obviously $5 plus in the money on that. I'm sure he'll have more to say.
How much money? How many dollars?
I'll have more to say about
how many dollars in the money on that one?
5, just a measly 5. Not a big deal or anything like that. Not a big deal.
My guy.
The way it is, he says. Get it, Katina man.
What other way is
he
there?
continues to print up multiple storms on the other side of the on the other side of the desk. I was going to say screen, but VCIG guys topping tail now, right into 3. Look, the levels are I perceive 290 support and 275 10 EMA on the 5. Send him off, Joey.
We had to let Sharif talk about VCIG.
The laugh there? Like,
a couple minutes. Yeah, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the party zone. As you can tell, the friends to the left of us, friends to the right of us, we're really happy to be here. That's such a stupid thing, Joe. Honestly, I mean, honestly, come on, man.
It's so bad, it's good.
It's so bad, it's bad, yeah. Yeah, but I mean, bruh, I need the bruhs because, like, bruh, we told you about 309, bruh. Joe, we told you about 309. It's on the note, my guy. So there's 309. Let's go. We're running that one to the upside there as well. So come on, bruh, you got to hit that. And then we'll wait to see where it goes from here. But yeah, we started a little early, got out. Then we started to like really dig in down here near 300 again, as it was written right there. We'll watch that. And then we still got Microsoft, very, very small trade on. I was trying to wait for the 200 period break, so we're just going to do that now at 4:15. Was debating getting out right there on the 25 period, but didn't do it. So we'll have to wait to see that one. But yeah, we're back. We're ready to go, man. A little bit of oat milk in the coffee this afternoon. So we've got the iced coffee going on there.
Ice
pretty
so
good.
nice.
I don't like it. It is like
so nice.
So gorgeous outside.
Oh,
Sharif is going to be loving life when he gets out there, man.
He's playing some tennis for sure.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be playing. Oh yeah, by the way, Sharif, that one guy wants me to tell you that he's got tennis lessons for you if you want, my guy, over there. So shout out to Les with that. But yeah, so just doing what we're doing, man. We're gonna have a good time here. USO moving around a little bit. We're on to Apple today. This is what USO looks like. I got stopped out of that first trade. Hadn't got back into it yet, but USO will be on our mind here heading into
Holy Micron bet, man.
Yeah, and then Micron. Oh, I just want to say, I put in the chat, I got out at 490, I think it was 497 change. Like, anyways, that's where it is. So I sat back down here today and I said to Neil, like, this thing's at $500.
Crazy.
I looked down, it's a 650% winner I had. And it's just like, I'm honestly, I haven't bought AMD. I didn't even realize I was still even in this name. And it just absolutely motors to the upside. Didn't have too many shares left, but did get out at 20% of what I did have. So I just wanted to let people know. We cleared out of ARM, it wasn't the right idea. We'll clear out of AMD, it won't be the right idea, but we're still holding on. So little pieces in and out. With dip buys ready to go, I did buy some more SoFi today. Like, how stupid am I? Selling AMD and buying SoFi? Like, let's wait to see what winds up working. But got to take a little bit of profit when it's there so that you don't sort of, feel bad.
I got filled.
I'm worried about Marvell. Yeah,
This
exactly.
morning I was like, oh, look at this at the open. Like you're thinking, oh wow, really? It did this move, popped through 320, got to 325, and then within minutes was at 300. Oh my goodness, if you sold 320, that's going to be absolute gold. Fast forward to lunchtime, and at lunchtime it's right back up to $320. Like, are you kidding me? Some of these stocks, Micron just hit 900.
Almost. Oh, did it hit it? I saw it right there. It might have hit it and turned around.
Yeah, I think it broke. Yeah, I have it breaking 900 just now, ever so slightly, maybe by 40 or 50 pennies or something like that. There for Micron. I'm back into Nike, pulling back into some lower highs. Sorry, let's say Nike. I'm in Uber.
Oh, Uber, yeah.
Why is Nike on my brain? Every now and then, if something else is on my mind, it's like there's a reason for that. Yeah, I guess I did like Nike short, but not right here, not right now. No, Uber, yada, 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 they're potentially, I don't know, the idea was that they were potentially raising their bid on Delivery Hero. And so they've been like short trending all day long, so just kind of shorting pops along, something along that trend line. But it's right back into this prior resistance at the 50, so if it breaks it, it breaks it. Dijon Mustard, I don't own any Jordans. So it isn't that I want another pair of Jordans. That's not why Nike was on my brain whatsoever. Jordan is the GOAT, but I actually wore David Robinson's, the two sneakers I owned in high school. I had the I forget what were the Robinsons called?
Were they Reebok? I don't know.
No, I thought he was Nike. Maybe it was Reebok.
I think he was.
And then I had the Sean Kemp Kamikazes as well.
Yeah.
Sean Kemp, I mean, if you know, you know. Sean Kemp was that dude. Like there was a minute.
Rain Man.
Like what this guy was stupid. Like what he was pulling off.
He didn't have much of a shot, but he was a very.
No, he only needed one thing. He just needed the lob. Just lob him the ball, GP, and
he needed a couple ladies too. I think the guy has 14 kids. But
18.
18, yeah. So this is getting a little bit at hand. In our chat that we have back to high school, one of our friends tagged me in the chat. I'm not even really active in this chat. Tagged me and said, "What am I doing with Micron? Am I selling Micron or retiring?" And I said, "Why not just do both?" So this is the thing, like, tongue in cheek, but if you have that kind of a winner right now, I don't think you need to retire off of it, but I think you should sell some, especially if he said he was long at 280. I don't know. That's a great shot. I didn't even know this dude was in it. So there's the break right in around here. I don't know how or why he got in, but like that's just been pretty epic. And if he's going to drop things like 280 to me, maybe he's long in and around. I mean, that's 320, so he's not even long there. So let's just say, I mean, the only time you could be long 280, it was only at 280 once. So that's right here. So I guess buying it at the end of the year. So right now you've got a triple plus more than that halfway through the year when there's a little bit of uncertainty tonight with Marvell. I don't know if they're going to really.
Tomorrow.
Sorry, tomorrow. Yeah, but I think it's tomorrow. Is it tomorrow morning? I think maybe Marvell. Anyways, we'll get that all figured out. But the idea between here, let me hold on and check. Tomorrow after market close, right? So my bad on that. I just think it's a little bit worth. I mean, I took some off on AMD. You heard us talk about ARM there. So we always talk, not uncertainties for your portfolios, but for ours. So I did get some out, and I would think that Micron up 20% might be a decent area to possibly start to think about trimming. I mean, up to you guys, but that's what I'm doing. So, but I don't own Micron, so.
It's absolutely insane. But the other place we're seeing some updates, not just Micron, we're seeing updates out of Origenics, ticker OGEN on the NYSE American. The company has now activated its Phase 2A clinical trial in Australia, with its first site fully operational patient dosing expected next. They're developing ONP-002, an intranasal treatment targeting concussion and mild traumatic brain injury, an area where there are currently no FDA-approved therapies. Alongside that, Origenics has spent the past year strengthening its balance sheet, raising capital, resolving liabilities, and restoring exchange compliance. The shift now focuses to execution. And with clinical progress underway and additional CNS assets under evaluation, that's OGEN over on the NYSE American. Shout out to OGEN. I want to thank them for sponsoring this portion of the show, this hour of the show. I keep having to remind myself that it's Tuesday. I want to say, like, to begin the week. I mean, it is to begin the week.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, the week started today.
Yeah,
for market-wise.
yeah, 100p. It's Tuesday. I don't know if we have.
Brian. He hasn't been on in such a long
Yeah,
time.
we haven't had Brian on a lot of Tuesdays. Well, it's a holiday. It's a long weekend. I don't know. We never had Michael Moss on because there is no Monday trade. But I don't know why we don't just shift him to Tuesdays on the Mondays. We'll see if we have Brian coming through for sure. Others think there was. I don't know. You can say Segue Master, but I didn't do anything creative for that segue. What up, Randy? Randy, no, you got the nice.
Yeah, I mentioned that to him. He's
nice. You got the do going on.
Brian is messaging me, so we are going to have him on. So I'm going to.
Okay.
Get on here, big man, and let's see what's going on there. Just a quick little talk here. We're short at 419. We are going to cover. We said if we broke through the 200 period moving average. So here comes the cover right now on Softy. We'll see if we can get out of that one very, very soon as it's going to break here. And Rivian Randy is still there, so let's go have a quick little look at Rivian. I don't know if your bid is still at $10, but it's getting closer and closer to that. Today, 22. Yeah, 10.22. Yeah, I knew there was something going on there. There's $13 right there. That's a good little level for Rivian. It's bounced off 13 nicely. So if you're waiting for 10.22, maybe not, but right there, $13 coming in, back up to 14. So Rivian finally catching some wind on that one. And then today, Tesla did have quite an eventful first hour, but now you're trying to go upside there again and trying to get back up to all-time highs near $500. We'll hang out there at 430. Rivian, of course, down here on charting-wise, and Tesla up here. So we'll wait to see if those two sort of balance each other out. Of course, Tesla's much more now, Randy, than a car company, as people worried about SpaceX and the power side. And I sold some Ford. Don't look Randy now. Wow, $15. This stock is just, the stock is making Rivian look silly right now, up to 15, breaking out. There goes Ford. I sold some the other day right here at $15, $14.90. As there goes Ford, really starting to take off right now. What a good stock this looks like. If you had just bought Ford, you know, at the beginning, let's say a year ago, you're in at 10, you're up 50% right now. But this is why we sold. You know, we had a little top there, we had another top, and we had a top. So we don't want to hold on to Ford for too long here, Randy, but taking advantage of that move higher as it goes. But all right, we have a super chat there from Jay Takes. Oh, I can get this in right here.
Oh, not on the page.
Curious. Okay, you got it? All right, there it is. It's a $10 Canadian here, Randy. We often don't get Canadian love back in there. Yeah, this is coffee money right there. All right, so what do you want to know about Marvell? All right, guys yes, I have it. It's all pretty much all in my long-term account. I have a little bit left over in the smaller account. Can you guys, you guys gave me Marvell at 75? You're welcome, my guy over there. That's your chicken dinner. That's all he says. Marvell.
Always asking for a swing idea.
Yeah, so that's great. You know, I'm long a little under that price for Marvell, and it just goes to show you, you know, when you get the thinking right about the space and you pick the right names, there we go to the upside is Marvell. So what am I thinking? I mean, like I said, I thought the Micron party was over at about that 280 level. Now it's at 900. So I would say, like, hey, man, I remember when Marvell, and we had a super chat earlier from Steve. What's up, Steve? I remember that we mentioned about Marvell that was at $100, and we were getting like antsy about it because we were long in here, and it came up to 100, didn't do anything about it. That one SoftBank rumor. Then all of a sudden it came back up, and I did. That's the last time I sold there. And then I'll have to double check. I'm not sure I sold into here, but it makes sense if I would have. But nothing recently as Marvell just keeps on extending through. So you could you could write those cover calls if you're a little bit nervous. I think it's going to be expensive. Right now it's not a bad time to write, I guess, because you'll get a lot of that premium into the system, and we can maybe talk about that at some point. Joe's still here, but I would say writing now might be a good idea to try to protect something there, and then you're limited on the upside, but you will capture some of that profit if you're writing against some of the holdings that you have. So yeah, congratulations, and thanks for following, and just so you guys know, this was, you can go back in Jan 12th is when we had our show on, and that's when we put Marvell. We had it on blast for a long time, but this is officially when we had it on blast. There's Marvell right there. Starting price $82 the time of that show. So, pretty happy with all those performances so far. Ramin hitting it upside. Obi officially probably blown out now. Sidis is going absolutely crazy right now. But yeah, we like Marvell. I think it's, heading into earnings. We're a little bit nervous about ARM earnings. You saw them. They absolutely turned out. So I don't
But there was a pullback to be had.
Yeah, we got long.
Remember,
200.
ARM pulled back into was 250 into 200 on earnings, and then right back up. And next thing you know, you're at like $320. So, like, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, basically, every chip name I'm kind of expecting to do something similar. Like they'll take the profit, you have to wait it out a bit, and then you'll get a bit of bounce. The only one that was right away, I think, was SanDisk, because SanDisk dipped the day of, or it's I guess the evening of, and then that was gone. I'm trying to find this, if there's a story here on Rich Tech. But RR, just a few minutes ago, broke out in a big way here. Nothing hit the wire. Do I have my news thing on? Because I haven't heard anything.
I have mine on.
I didn't see any news. I just went into X to see if I could find like a tweet or a post or something that would explain this parabolic move on big volume in RR here. So I'm not really finding anything. We'll keep our ear to the ground. It is a massive volume spike, so something clearly going on. And by the way, this is actually breaking out in its own right above $3. So look at $3. Going back into last week, I think that gives you a bit of a level. I mean, it's also where like the pre-market high or the morning highs, I guess that would be. If you pull back in, hold on to VWAP. But no story that I can see specifically for RR. As I said, we'll try to do our best to keep our ear to the ground. I mean, things haven't needed too much of a reason to run. Got a short float on it. Sometimes it just gets technical, but this seems like something's going on here with Rich Tech as well. So we'll see. I think when you were looking for swings, there's one I'm waiting on, but I can be really, really patient with it because it's been dog you know what. That's probably the wrong way to say it. But I've been posting waiting for this potential downtrend break on Palantir for a while. The IGV's leading the way. It's cresting, right? So it's not cresting's the wrong word. Like it's bottoming out, same low, holding these 120s, 130s, and then all you got to do is break this out. And I think once it gets going past the 50-period moving average, flat bottom. It could always flat bottom break, but it's just a trend break waiting for this 50 to go here on PLTR, and the IGV's already led the way. I don't know why there's an IGV on them. First thing in the drop down is in Milan. I don't know if that's the ETF, it's probably some stock. But if you look at the IGV, that's been breaking out and trending back higher. So you are getting some strength back into the software names. It's just a matter of Palantir getting off the schneid, and you got to be patient with it. It's still very much in a downtrend, unfortunately, for Palantir. It just hasn't been, just like Softy, like it just hasn't been there day, week, month, year.
Yeah, we had this message here, and I was just waiting. I didn't realize you were going to go over to Palantir there. But, Rich Granny over here talking about how sold Palantir. And I was going to say, this is, we're defending. Last year, we won the same competition, and that was because of Palantir. So if you were with us last year, you would have heard. I actually have here. Shout out to Prad. Got me this hat. Here you go, man. This is, we were long Palantir. Palantir is my greatest investment of all time, I would think. Just, we bought some and we kept on holding it all through its initial, it wasn't a public offering, direct listing there. And Palantir had quite the year the last 2 or 3. This year, though, as Neil said, I'm still, we got out a decent chunk at 175. It's still, a part of the portfolio. I do like Palantir, and there's no doubt about that. But, can't get out of its own way right now. I still think it returns to glory at some point, but it's not going to be that big stock that we're all thinking it is anymore. I think it can just sort of grind a bit higher. And if I had a price target, sure, I think we can get back to 160. That would be the 200-period moving average. And then we can see if there's something that sort of sparks it from there. A little nervous about Anthropic and Claude and just all the stuff that's involved with what Palantir sort of brought to light a while ago. Now there's a lot of catch-up happening, right? And so I don't know if you like mustard or relish, but this catch-up trade right now seems to be a little bit hurting Palantir right now. Yeah, she likes mustard.
We did sandwiches yesterday, and she's like, "Oh, can you put mayo on one, and then mustard, mayo on one side of the bread, mustard on the other side of the bread?" I'm like, "You want the good mustard, or you want like the regular mustard?" She's like, "I'll try the good mustard."
Yeah, good.
Second sandwich. Mustard. "Daddy, can you just put only mustard on it?" I was like, "Sweetheart, absolutely I can." With the biggest smile. I'm like, "You don't need that mayonnaise. You get the good quality mustard."
I love mayo.
Look, mayo, there's nothing wrong with mayonnaise.
Yeah,
but
it's so
to me, the perfect sandwich is the high quality mustard. That's why I like the Montreal smoked meat, man.
Versus making tuna melts
Where it's
tonight.
about.
So
Oh
I'm
my
so
goodness!
excited for
Don't
tuna melts.
start me with.
She uses Maddie Matheson's cookbook, and he uses
I love
he uses Miracle Whip. So I think she had to go out and buy some.
Not the cool
Miracle
whip. Not cool whip.
No, not the whip.
I can't do it like
Right
Stewie.
there. Yeah, I don't know. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
We'll go a little bit out there on Apple. Right there. Have you had some Grey Poupon? Yeah, no. 310 right there. And, you know, it's
Not
just...
bougie.
And I'm glad you talked about finding us finally. I'm glad that's true. Make sure you find the sticky note too, because there's Apple 309 long done twice. Man, it is like XXX amounts, the top stock for me today, and the top stock on the show, I think, there with Apple just absolutely running northbound there today. And it's not even like it's been a good day. It's just that 309 is held. And I'm not even really sure like what was going on with it, but there it is right there, 309. I like that level here today. Just the daily chart of Apple just gets me like going like for the long. And like that was just such a nice move there. And although the Nasdaq's up 1.6% and Apple's still down, we are getting out of this trade. So I have less than 15% left now on Apple. A lot of the outs were right here. So, you know, 309.75 or so, right into this level that we had a problem breaking. So, you know, we've targeted that out, and that's what we're getting out right now. And by the way, there goes Microsoft. So we'll hit the sirens up. We got that out at 415, as we said, breaking through the 200 period moving average. And look, man, it's all roughly the same. There it goes back upside. Get your questions ready. Brian will be around very, very shortly. Yeah, so he's going to be coming through, and that should be exciting. Brian, I said we'd love to have him, and he did an anchor emoji next to our chat. So will he or will he not be talking about some kind of anchors?
It'll be anchors on, because you have to imagine that after Marvell earnings, that would be a place to look.
Yes, that's a good question to ask.
Micron probably has some kind of an anchor that we can go back to and look to find. Look to find where you could possibly pull back into. I'm not saying they're going to pull back, but I mean, when you look at who's tonight? Zscaler, that's not a big deal. So when you look at Marvell, right? Like a lot of people are going to say, well, how do you get into these things? Do you buy highs? No one ever wants to buy the high. No one likes buying the high. You feel like a sucker if you buy the high. Although, I don't know, if you bought that high, it looked pretty good. If you bought this high break, it looked pretty good. If you bought this high break, it'll hold it against you, but it looks pretty good either way. But I like to buy the dips, and where might that be? You'll have moving averages, which I know a lot of people like to look at, but you can also look at like probably right in here, March 6th. That'll be the biggest volume event earnings of the year, and then I guarantee you we'll smack an anchor on that one and see where it lines up. But then maybe we'll talk about space names and what could happen in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks when SpaceX comes through, because you'll start to think about, well, what if we get a temporary top on Astis or Rocket Lab or Sidus if you happen to be into Sidu. As well. So you could find some places where those might dip, and I think they could. Now the market seems to be churning, the Nasdaq I should say, seems to be churning back for that 30,001 high. The good news is, it is very strong. Why is the ES under VWAP though? What's holding us back today? Is it financials not going well? Probably, I mean, I know energy.
Must be
energy's down 2.5, but I figure there's something else holding the ES back. Uber got into VWAP. It's still downward trending, so I want to keep playing this back into the 70 level for now, but the market is trying to bounce off here, so I don't want this breaking the volume weighted average price. I have to get away from the short there. I got the eyeballs on SMR, because SMR has been, first of all, it's up 7.5%. There were a couple of nuclear stories this morning, specifically to NNE and Oklo, but SMR, I feel like it was just up on sympathy. I don't think we actually saw anything specific to them, but up almost 8 points. And look at this clean downward trend into VWAP holding the same low. So I'm just looking for this to break out that trend line and then go long through. It'll now be VWAP if it does, and see if that one can get back into the high, just sort of play the trend when it finally gets back on. So Uber and SMR are on the watch. Like I said, we'll have Brian on. Get your questions ready, because I feel as if you can throw any chart at him and he'll be locked and loaded and ready to answer those questions. JC says SMR did have a catalyst this morning.
Well, just the Oklo stuff. I don't know if they had
it. It had its own catalyst? I don't recall seeing
other than that. I mean, what was Micron's catalyst? Upgrades? Micron just broke through 900. It got as high as 903.
It's Micron.
And there it goes, 902.79, new all-time high. for Micron. I mean, waiting to play dips into the 50 period, I guess, is something you could do. That's 898. Wow, Micron just, boom, shakalaka. He's on fire right now, is Micron. Nice little take there to the upside. Just continues to work it out, man. Micron, holy. Still going. All right, we're long Apple. That's it. That's the only position that, oh, you got short Uber. Okay, good. So short Uber, long Apple. We'll continue to look out for those names. And then, you know, I said USAR was a name that Sharif was all about. We had the rare earth. I don't know, like, you know, last week we had Rigetti. We had some of the quantum names really starting to pop through. This week we look for the next kind of wave, and, you know, not a shot at D-Wave there. Well, we could talk about Rigetti, D-Wave, IonQ, IBM. We actually, chugged that coffee. I remember that we had D-Wave on our watch and we had IBM on our watch for a key level. Well, this might be the same thing for USAR, right? You know, off of a nice run from 20 to 28 bucks, running into somewhere that we've seen already back in early May. So we could definitely watch out for USAR moving around today there. Rare earth, Adair reported earlier that there could have been someone looking to make moves here on USAR. There's $1 on Apple, so we're happy with that one. Again, right off the note. Here's IBM. So they had a pretty nasty pullback there on Friday, and it just looks nastier on the chart than it actually was. But there it is, man. 265 is where we got to on just a lot of hype. And then there's the close there, 253. So you're down $12, which on 250, that's what I mean. It doesn't seem like that much. But today we're trying to battle that back a little bit. So it's a nice move back for IBM. Unlike the other ones, and this is where I was going to go with D-Wave and Rigetti and whatnot, they were actually pulling, it's come back up nicely. They were almost down 10% there, 23.80 for Rigetti. But this is just a cooling down. I mean, I don't think the story is over yet. I didn't even look at QBTS today. I only looked at Rigetti because it was on my watch. Same thing. So, you know, most of these names pulling back, IBM holding out maybe better than the rest because it's not just a pure play quantum, but, you know, QBTS, QTUM, IonQ might be one of the better ones there. And I remember when your boy Martin Shkreli was saying these were all zeros. You know, not anymore.
IonQ was $1.
IonQ might have been $1. Now add 64 times that, and we see what's happening here. So yeah, nice move there for IonQ. And actually, look at that. The one that's holding up the best here, IonQ, today.
I think he had like a thinly veiled compliment for IonQ.
Oh, did he?
There was that big long rant, the original one. I don't remember whenever the heck it was sent, but I just remember like reading it's like this is worth nothing, and then it was like 2 paragraphs on why it was worth nothing, and then there was the IonQ one, and it was like 3 or 4 paragraphs why it wasn't as bad as the others and was the best of the group. Which, really, if you were bullish, maybe gave you the reason to get into some IonQ. But I think they really need to cool off. Yeah. Just allow, like, everyone's going to be a little bit more focused on chips.
We're going to go long AMD breaking 500.
But, you know, I just feel as if they can pull back 200 period for QBTS or like the prior high of 25. This stays fine. Like, it hasn't lost any structure. It's just one down day, and you can still.
Oh, what the mother?
Did it break?
No, it didn't break. I must have just put the wrong. I just got in and out there. All right, so.
I thought it was a 500.
Yeah, no, I put the order out, and all of a sudden I got triggered in. So I don't know what I did there. It's funny because if you put the wrong price, it shouldn't just trigger in. It should be, you know, there should be something about that. All right, $500.20. I don't know if breaking 20 cents is going to be good enough. It's probably not. But I just put the order in. That was a mistake. I just in and out for flat immediately. It's probably going to be right. Watch this thing rip. But there it is. There's a little bit of a barcode there for, 666. We just saw that. Ominous. All right, we'll wait to see if it does pop through 5 bills now. Just like Micron, pop through 300. 900 for Micron right there. It didn't really give anything back. I mean, it tried to go there. Maybe it gave back 70 cents. I'm not sure what that kind of looked like real time. But, oh yeah, by the way, if you punch long Micron at 900 bucks, welcome to the $7 club. Who are you, Joey Options over there? That's a nice move higher there on Micron, breaking through 9 bills. Let's see if the same thing is true for AMD. I did, man. You know, we did talk about that. Did get out of AMD, some part of my AMD there, 20% at around 497. So here we go again. It's upstart time. I don't think it's fintech time yet, but maybe it is.
Well, actually, Affirm was up 6% today.
Okay.
I only noticed that because I was going through my quote board this morning, or I was showing you guys the quote board, and Affirm 6%. So I was like, huh? Explain to me. I don't know. Maybe there was a story that we missed, but Upstart's going to be up 6% as well. Affirm and Upstart Adara, both of these names. Affirm's got a much better looking chart, but Upstart's got this whole 25 bottom thing going on for, like, you know, hold the low and then try to break that 50 period moving average. It still has a decent short float, right? I don't know. Affirm,
Upstart?
yeah,
Probably.
Affirm looks a lot better if we were to compare them. Is there a story in the two?
No, so I'm seeing this be attributed to excitement over the war potentially ending, because we know, even though we literally had the self-defense strike, people were like, oh, the war is going to end. That's why we had oil down pre-market. Now I'm also seeing that apparently, like, the idea of the subdued inflation, people were thinking, at least this morning, could lead to an uptick in some of these BPNL, or buy now, pay later, sorry, BNPL loans, etc. If we get an inflation decrease. It's obviously very, like, A, speculative, and B, not super straightforward. But to be fair, the move in the market, given the confusion over the war, was also kind of the same. So,
okay, makes sense. And you got over a 30% short float here. So I mean, what more do you need? Like, Upstart's definitely a squeezable name. I just feel like you're getting the 50 period hold, I guess, today, and it would need to. I mean, it failed this break of some local highs. You can see all those topping tail wicks there. Sort of failed the break of this high at 30.70. So you get back above 30.70, maybe another chance at a squeeze. I just feel Affirm. Let's look at this one. Like, a little bit stronger. Even now it's at the highs. It's above some prior resistance there. Like, it's trying to break out the 200, not the 50. It's already made a move. This seems a little bit stronger, but I get you. You could look at either one of these, and they could be a potential break. Affirm needs to get above 70, and then what did we say for Upstart? I think it was 30.70 you wanted to close above. Another super chat. David, again, or Dave, sorry, don't ever forget about Dave if talking about Affirm. Yes, Dave Inc. as well, another one, your namesake. Let's go back to Adara.
LUNR dropping here as Blue Origin is reportedly selected by NASA. It looks like LUNR potentially was going to be in contention, but Blue Origin wins out, NASA to the downside. One speculative other way to look at this, potentially keep an eye on Amazon. We know the Blue Origin, Jeff Bezos connection, but unsurprisingly, not too much of a move here. So once again, guys, the headline here for LUNR, NASA announcing Blue Origin's been selected to deliver the first lunar terrain vehicle. The company whose ticker is literally lunar gets snubbed. Back to you.
Gonna halt down.
That can't be good. Is it halting? You should take the short.
It's at the halt band.
Is it? All right, I want to take the short if I can get over there. Quickly, let's see if we can get some shares short here. Here it is coming up. We'll see if we can get it. Right there it is. Oh, I did not get the short. I didn't get it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I just wanted to show you here. Yeah, I wish I would have. I was offering. You see what happens is all these D prints. You could go. I should have just gone on bat Y, I guess.
Or there's probably a dark pool. I keep thinking.
Yeah, that's all these D prints.
There's a dark pool that's probably weak have that's filling
or
there.
New York. New York might have printed. What is this? A Nasdaq name? Well, there are a bunch of Nasdaq. Yeah, I mean, I think. I don't know. Maybe I could have got it. I sat on ARCA there. I don't even see an ARCA printing. So, yeah, missed that 41, 38.41. Right now the tap is 38 for Lunar. Missing out on that one. Not good, man, on that gap down. Look, the funny thing is it just halted down, still up on the day. So absolutely crazy there for the space. Okay, what I want to do right before we went to there, and thanks to Dara for that, I'm in this ARKQ. This is what it looks like, man. This is the robotics ETF for Kathy Wood. We bought this live on air when Tesla was talking. The US government did something about robotics a while ago. I don't remember. It's around this one. I think it was right into here. Something like that started to get going. But anyways, I'm in this name. And I was looking at it, and we talked about the rebalancing. And look, I didn't even realize sort of what's been held in. I mean, I realized it because we talked about this on the show before. Let me see if I can just sort of make this, maybe zoom in just a little bit here. Oh, that's not letting me zoom. Is this letting me zoom? There it is. Okay, so here's the top 15 holdings. This is the ARKQ holdings there. This is an ETF, of course, by, I shouldn't call this up if Brian's coming on. He is not a Kathy Wood fan, but this one, look at this. Tesla. So is the first one there. There's Advanced Micro Devices. So no wonder, we have a piece of AMD and we don't even realize it. So that's good. Teradyne, there's Rocket Lab. I mean, all these names. Kratos going upside. Palantir used to be a much bigger percentage of this. That's why last time when we did this on the air, I remember seeing AMD, but didn't realize it was number 2 because it wasn't. So these are all adjusting, I guess, almost real time. They're John Deere and Company, Amazon, TSM is here. Just look at these names. L3 Harrive, Intuitive, Intuitive, sorry, NVIDIA, there's your AVAV. So you know what, like as this continues to go, definitely like some of these names, and like a headline like this, you know, shows that potentially this, you know, war or this back and forth sort of, you know, I guess it's a war, I wouldn't call it what it is, but
yeah, it's
this back and forth sort of talk does not seem to be stopping anytime soon. So there it goes right now. These names could be good. And there's Amazon, right, with that LUNR talk. So, you know, I really like the ARKQ, and it's just continued to do well, and it's now a brand new 52, an all-time high right there for ARKQ. So thanks, Kathy Wood. It's been pretty good so far with that one.
We're not really moving on that headline. So siren sounded, hostile aircraft infiltration.
Here comes AMD.
Yeah, basically nothing burger. Here is you. So you'll know when the headlines matter, oil prices will move around a heck of a lot. You're still seeing a big time downward tap on LUNR, about $3, $2.50 now. So LUNR should be open in 2 minutes, maybe a minute and a half. You'll see LUNR come back in. Whoops, hit enter so you guys can see. It's kind of tapping 36 even. So off the page is where this is indicating to open right around almost Friday morning breakout levels if it opens down all the way at 36.
Oh man,
so,
how do we
rough.
miss that short? That was so easy.
And you know what? It's there's the next time it happens, I want a key that throws out like 3 dark pools. So like you say that you get,
We can
want
put it
X
out
amount of
fast
shares,
ourselves.
and it puts it. No, we have a key where you can designate that it throws. It'll
Yeah.
throw like 4. So if you want like 100 shares, it'll throw like 25 on each one, and then just pick 4 dark pools and then sit on all of them when it goes
Yep.
to the halt. That's your best because you don't know which one's filling. You just see 80% deep prints. I don't know.
Okay, so we're long. Yeah, there goes AMD.
AMD broke?
Yeah, AMD
Bye-bye.
broke. So no, it just broke literally right now. I'm not even that excited about it. All right, so we got long at O's. So thank you, P8, right there. We'll take that long at O's there. I guess it broke and there was so much size. I didn't even, honestly, I was looking at the chart of LUNR there and I was thinking to myself, you know, we missed that one. But we'll take a little small piece out there for a quarter. I don't know. That's just generally what I do. I think taking 25 cents on AMD seems silly. So let's let this thing ride. I was giving about $1 down here into the 25 period moving average. So now we just got to let this thing go. I took out 10%. Look, it's like a muscle reflex there. Like as soon as it goes up, I kind of offer out all the time. But let's just give it about $1. We've seen the fake and break, man. We've even coined it. It's happened so much to us before. So, you know, let's watch out, see if this is one of those fake and then break and then fake is more likely here. So we do have our stop order now in for advanced micro devices. And that's at that low side. Oh, actually, it's not in right now. 498.79. We're just going to use that level right there on our 25 period moving average. We'll go offer enter, and so far so good there. So now we're into advanced micro devices and going to give this one just a couple breaths to see how far it wants to go, hopefully further than where we are. Yo, what up, Fabian? Hopefully you're doing well. That LUNR there, we tried to get 38, 41s. Missed it, it's going to be 35.
If it opens 35, that's basically the same percentage move if you took the opening print on Cerberus. Cerebrus,
Yes.
the IPO. Like that went 10% right away. This could open up 10% down, almost. Well,
Why does that? What?
no, it's just in terms of just to give an idea of the scope of how big that move is. Like it's already down $6 from 44,
Right,
and it's still gonna go further. So in 2 moves, this story is gonna move bigger than that huge IPO did off of the open for you. We'll see. I mean, it should be. Wait a minute. Oh, you know what? It must be a 10-minute halt. I was going to say it should have already been open a minute ago.
Well, it's news pending now, so.
Oh, is it now news pending?
Why do I assume it was? Well, because the news is out, right? So they're going to have to release. Okay, by the way, we're almost, that AMD is almost out just as fast as it got in right now, breaking back down below 499 now as the market kind of rejecting that look at 500. So, you know, we talked about in our long-term portfolio, sold a little bit of it, but did try this a little long. We took a quarter of a unit, man. This is, you know, we were just hoping that this thing would really run, and it didn't do it. So we are, you know, we're kind of like mean mugging it. It's not a huge hit. The spread though, like 40 cents, you know, when it gets going. So there it is, 25 cents there again. So yeah, this has a chance to get back to the upside, but selling now off of 500. So we may try it again. I remember when Intel broke, I think it was 100 for the first time. It went back and forth for a minute before eventually being good. So, you know, we'll give AMD a couple breaths. So let's just breathe and see what winds up happening here with AMD. But we're not going to take a breath for long, man. If this breaks below that level there of 498 quarters, 3/4, then we're out. So close to being stopped out there, but didn't. So right now, AMD on watch for myself. And then we have Apple. Apple's pulled back, but we did good. Like, we only had, I think I was telling you, about 10 or 15% left. Got out 2 more times here on Apple as this market's got to figure itself out.
Yeah, that LUNR, it looks like just a 10-minute halt. I confirmed it. It's a volatility halt. And apparently there's I don't know if anyone's trading this one, 2x daily, because every single stock seems to have one of these at this point, including LUNR. It's also halted, obviously, to the downside. Although not most of the times these are going to be lockstep. Ridiculously high volatility events sometimes can cause diversions because one gets broken. Just keep an eye on it. It doesn't seem like it's remotely liquid, though, this LUNL, I believe. Yeah, that one
that did not go out.
Looking pretty intense. All right, so we'll have to wait another 2 minutes until that opens up because it's a 10-minute halt, so sort of back to what we were looking at before. And the market really slowed down. SMR, it's got the same trend line. It just doesn't seem very keen on breaking it. So I have to put that one in the back pocket, already looking more at LUNR. Again, I'll short the next available pop on Uber. I just realized I can't look at Blue Ocean. Can you not look at Blue Ocean in the afternoon?
If the quotes aren't up.
I thought you had access to the previous overnight all day long.
Oh, the chart should be.
No, none of them are working. I went to call up Tesla because it was this move in the, anyway, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, okay.
But you can't look, I couldn't look at Blue Ocean. So anyways, if I get a pop back into view up, I'll reload Uber. Otherwise, that, SMR, one of the two
by the way,
will be in. And Tima is saying Firefly's moving. Firefly Aerospace, maybe on sympathy at LUNR. It's going upside.
No dollars, Joe, on AMD. It just came back to 5 bills. So here we go. AMD is starting to get going one more time. I mean, who knows? I put an offer. I put an offer now at $500.50 just for another 10%. Then we're at 501. Then we're at 502. And then we keep on rolling. As they say, we roll and roll and roll and roll. And Fly was selected by NASA. Okay, Adara's got more about that story. Thanks, guys.
Yes, sir, guys, I waited on the Fly story because I was seeing a couple different things. I wanted to make sure I knew specifically what Fly was selected for before I brought it to you guys. But NASA announcing that Firefly, or FLY, has been selected. Specifically, their Elytra spacecraft has been selected to deliver the first drones to the moon. So we know that apparently Blue Origin won out over LUNR for the first lunar terrain vehicle. Now, Firefly's Elytra spacecraft will be delivering the first drones to the moon. Back to you.
That one's already starting to come back. So not nearly this, like this is not moving up the way that LUNR is moving down. That's actually just back open as we're looking at Firefly. You know, it does open at $35. That was a
My halt up.
340 print to the downside. If you're able to get that fill, which I don't know, I think you could have got it. I just don't know what gateway would have actually filled. It looks like it got pretty close to halting up there, which would be above that 38, but already back into the downside. So Firefly to the upside, LUNR getting absolutely rocked.
Fly halt up or no?
No, it didn't. It was, it wasn't as strong upside as LUNR was down. Like I felt like it was consolidating. It looked like it might give you a bit of a breakout on Fly, but it's already back in. If it can do another leg and take out that high, this has that whole U shape that we've seen before, right? Like you open up, you basically just tank forever, which we've seen this before. Like you have an IPO, you tank forever, you get the rounded top, and then when it does the breakout of the IPO price, that's pretty big. So it's got one more leg to go. Would love for it to take this 62-ish high, but put in a higher low. I think this could be worth a breakout here on Flies. Hey, these space names, not all of them, I guess. Obviously, LUNR's not having a very good day, but Fly is. I want to see this break out the top and look for a break of 62.2 would be the high of the day, but it's running out of steam immediately. That's kind of unfortunate. It was set up for a good break, and then I think you had some room to rally if it could go. Good volume. It's still doing solid volume for now. I'd rather this one not die, because I'd rather be long than try to find a short in this thing. Too strong, up 21, 22%. And LUNR is stabilizing. That's the problem with trying to price this, right? Like if you know off the top of your head how much this contract was going to be worth to them, right? Like I don't know. like what percentage of revenue were they potentially looking at here? And then you start to do some like quick math, like how much should they really be down? It's just a pure momentum play to take the original short. Now you're just sort of guessing, maybe VWAP, maybe using that halt price, which corresponds to the prior close. There's really no levels to look at. So I'd rather look at Firefly for this potential break. If it goes, it goes. If we don't get the break, then I guess there's no fill to be had. But 62.18 is the current HOD. As hard at work as Fabian in front and behind of us.
Yeah.
What's on there?
Yeah, what's up, Fabian? Basically AMD, it came up to 500 again. This time it went to $500.43. So we missed it by 7 or 8 cents. It would have been another 10%. Doesn't really matter. But the spread on this thing is about like 60 cents when it starts to move. Like right now it's 40 cents. So we got stopped out there breaking back down below 499. So, we take that out. We'll hold on. We're in it right now at that price. Just trying to give this 50 cents, but I didn't really realize the spread here. So, that was a keystroke. That one we tried, and it's only a quarter of a unit. So it's not the end of the world. But even if you lose $1 on a quarter of a unit over and over and over again, then yeah, it's a problem. So we'll give it one more try here. But the spread is just going to knock me out anyways. Like the minute someone sells even like 500 shares of this thing, it's going to knock it out. Like look right there. This is 45 cents of a spread right now. So like I'd take a 45-cent winner. That'd be great. So you could just basically play the spreads back and forth here if you did want that from Advanced Micro Devices, but not super interested in it right now, other than we'll just hold and see if it breaks 498.50, and then we can cover out of that one. Apple's pulled back as well, so there's not much going on there. 30,000, the Nasdaq took 30,000.
Unbelievable.
So unbelievable take there.
I haven't hit that one in a while.
Yeah, man,
which is kind of crazy because you
crazy
just
green.
hit that every single day.
Oh man, I really wanted to short LUNR there. At 37 again, but now it's only because it finally gave us a little bit of a level there at 37 bucks. You can see here it's now 34. Wonder if this halts the other way. I don't necessarily think it's anything about what LUNR is, like you mentioned there, their profit, what were they looking for. It's just the fact that it just highlights the competition part of it, right? It's like now all of a sudden there's competition from Amazon and they got chosen over LUNR. So I don't know if we saw Fly.
Amazon's too big.
Yeah, we saw Fly going higher. Amazon's kind of like, whatever, man. This is a drop in the bucket for us. But FLY, was that Firefly? Yes, starting to make moves here. Now back up to the upside. This is not that same Firefly that we were.
Not Firefly.
No, but there it is, man. 18 bucks. Wow, like just the way these stocks continue to go higher. Look, I don't know if this one's in the penalty box or not, but the one thing I do know is we have Brian Shannon ready to rock and roll, and his NHL team. I don't know if you've been watching. Hey, Brian, glad to have you back, man. It's been way too long. But those Colorado Avalanche, man, I bet Joe over here that they would beat Vegas, and now they're out 3-0 in best of 7. So we're hoping that the Avalanche get going. You watching any hockey these days or not? Too much?
Well, a little bit, yeah. I'm not a Canadian, so I'm not like you guys, but I like playoff hockey.
Americans like hockey, man.
There's lots of hockey fans.
Americans like hockey. I thought.
Oh, Denver's a big hockey town. The DU Pioneers, they won the title again.
Yep, exactly. We were just in Minnesota with my daughter a couple weekends ago. She's on a travel team, so we went there. Very popular hockey in the state of Minnesota. So, as I know it is where you are as well. But yeah, glad to have you back. What have you been up to the last couple of weeks? Hopefully not shorting anything.
No, I was actually in a large cash position for a lot of last week. Actually, I was on vacation in the Grand Canyon, so didn't want to be bothered with it with no cell service.
Yes, yeah, exactly. You never know what's going to get dropped these days.
That's a bucket list thing right there.
Did you see today we had Micron, and I know you and I we've all been going over Micron forever and ever. It seems like what a name right there. Continues to climb higher. MU now 907 today, Brian, up just 20%. I mean, kind of a drop in the bucket for this name. Finally gets to the 1 trillion marker. And of course, if we look back, I'm not even sure what I'm going to ask you now about this because I'm not sure what to say. But when you look at a chart like Micron, any initial thoughts here? It's very popular in our crowd as many traders looking for that sort of YOLO trade up even to $1,000 right now. I feel like there's probably a magnet to that price, but who knows with a stock like this? What's your first thoughts on when you look at a name like Micron?
I would agree with that $1,000 magnet up there. And, you know, if you got it, hold it, raise your stop, know what your exit strategy is. People always say, you know, oh, this is going to end badly. It only ends badly if you don't have a stop or some kind of, you know, risk management where you're peeling profits along the way. And if you're looking to get involved, then you've got to go down to the very short-term timeframes. And even looking at today's chart, Sean, you know, we had that initial gap up. It ran, pulled back to VWAP and bounced. Then we had another volume-weighted average price bounce right over here. So there are opportunities. Once they, you know, start to bounce away from there, catching those buys with a stop under the prior little low, those make them low-risk entries. You don't expect them to continue to go like this, but the opportunities are there each and every day. And I know you guys just did that a couple weeks ago, that piece about your favorite entry is a VWAP bounce. And here it was, you know, perfect in the stock today.
And we learned a little bit about VWAP from certain individuals that are here on the show. So we want to thank Brian for his continued education about volume-weighted average price. I said everybody was funny. We were talking, we were messaged back and forth, you and I, on X there, and you dropped that little anchor emoji. So I thought that was well put right there for that one. All right, give me a marker here on Marvell. This is a name that I took earlier on this year when we had our top picks of the year, and Marvell was one of the top 3 for myself. It's really exploded now, like through this $100 mark. Like when we had bought it, we were buying it in the 80s. It blew through that 100. We took a little bit off there. And if we extend out for Marvell, we took a little bit off at 130 as well. But I'm kind of doing that same thing as Micron, letting her just ride again. But with earnings coming tomorrow, I know it's tough. We're not going to try to make any predictions on what to expect for earnings. But let's just say this falls back in, and we could just take what you did on Micron as an example. But where are we going to put an anchor on here if if Marvell somehow misses tonight or tomorrow night and gives us a little bit of a pullback? I'm like a support and resistance guy, so this 160 to 170 looks good for me, but maybe you can help back up, help us look for a level here that we can maybe look for a long if Marvell misses. No idea how far it's going to go down if it misses, but is there a buy zone, maybe this gap fill? What are you looking for? This pink is the 50-period moving average.
Yeah, I mean, first up, you've got that 20-day moving average, which is right here, along with the anchor off of this little pullback low, which was 20 days ago as well. So this zone right here, 175-ish, which I think you just mentioned, looks like if it gets rocked, that's the place for it to go. If we see a shallow pullback somewhere down in here, the anchor off of last week's low and the 5-day moving average, so 192-ish would be your first level, and then 175, and ideally it holds above this zone in here, which you were mentioning is, you know, that would really get it a big flush, I think.
All right, let's see what we got on Marvell earnings. But we've been asking the chat to see if there's any sort of names that they are interested in. And I know Neil's got one, so I'm going to throw it over there. It's another big cap name, so I'm sorry about it, but we're going to talk about it. It's one that maybe you even hold in the longer term. Let's go over and find out what it is.
Hey, Brian, who doesn't own Alphabet, realistically? So we're going to get a question just to interpret the chart. Because, I mean, everything looks pretty strong. On a weekly here, you do have this bit of a reversal, and there's been some sellers at the 400 level. A popular question lately has been, hey, where are the dip buy levels for some of these things that have gone so far? But just in your general sense, what do you feel about Alphabet's chart? Because this has been pretty parabolic in its own right for a name that you wouldn't necessarily think so on the weekly.
Right. They keep coming out with great product releases from everything I see, and they seem to be the ones that are actually monetizing AI. It's trying to hold near this 20-day moving average, and you can see I already had this line drawn in. We've got this little support zone in here. What I'd really like to see, this would be great, is if it flushed below this for a day or two, came back up, and then I think it could be off to the races again. That first test of the 20-day moving average often does hold and bounce, but it doesn't seem to be finding that vigor right now, and I wouldn't be buying it anyways with this declining 5-day moving average. So a little flush and then get it going. If instead it broke down and stayed below that 380 turned into resistance, then I would look at the low, the anchor off of the April low, and the 50-day moving average would kind of converge together in this 355 zone. I don't think that's likely. What seems more likely is a little flush and then get going back up to the upside.
So what it seems like, and I know looking at that chart, it'll be easier to say, You mentioned earlier you can't really get burned if you have stops. You know, when you're playing things that are going parabolic, when you're playing a market that is so strong, as long as you capture your profit. But what it seems like when you look at that, when you look at maybe a Micron, when you look at an Alphabet, certainly there, until we break some levels where people might have these trailing stops, you're not wanting to enter near the highs, right? Like let it hit some of these obvious trail out levels, regain, and then take a leg back in, or you're just flat out waiting for lower. Because I look at a stock like ARM, which I'd like your thoughts on as well. I'm not even, like this, forget about the weekly or the monthly is not gonna be of any good because again, it's gone so parabolic. You look at a chase like this, until people start getting out, you can't really do much of anything with it. So you said you're substantially in cash. Is there anything that you're like, this week, I actually feel like I would want to put some money in?
Yeah, I bought a little bit dear today, but let's talk about ARM first. They've got a beautiful pattern of higher lows on this move from 200 to 330. Taking partial profits, having a partial stop under here, just in case it does reverse hard, is to me the prudent way to do it. And then have your stops staggered. You don't get out all at once. I would never do that unless it just started going against you flat out, straight out of the gate. BTDR, this is a little bit riskier name. It's one of those Bitcoin miners that's pivoting to the AI. But if it can break this level, you could see a really nice move in BitDeer. It's I've also liked ALKS. This is one that pulled back to some prior resistance in here. It's got a rising 20-day moving average. It just reclaimed the 5. So tomorrow, I'd love to see a little pullback and then get it going. What else? Well, Google, as you already mentioned, NVIDIA is kind of in the same boat in a way that it is, hovering right on that 20-day moving average, and we've seen the pattern here is higher highs and higher lows. Is this going to be the higher low? So far, the pullback to the 20-day moving average isn't holding. So what I'd really like to see in this case, and this is the 30-minute time frame on the right, is that we maybe tomorrow run up towards this level, straighten out a little bit, and then we get back above that 5-day moving average, be a buyer over here with maybe half of your stop under here, half of the stop under there, and then NVIDIA could potentially continue to continue this pattern of higher highs and higher lows.
Yeah, I like that NVIDIA, just trying to be patient after, it seems to do this every single earnings where everyone gets excited, the numbers are fantastic, and it just sells off for a week and a half or however long it is, and then it bounces higher.
Yeah, that was the last one there.
Yeah, I want to ask you about that ALKS for a second, because you're a technical trader, right? I think everyone understands technical analysis is literally your baby, right? So do you ever find 2 or 3 charts that look similar, and then you get like an ALKS that has a 16% short float, and then maybe something that looks almost identical has like an 8% short float? I know for myself, that's breaking the tie every single time. If I look at two small mid caps and one of them's got a big short float and it's the same looking chart, I'm going long the one with the higher short float every time. Is that something that you pay attention to, or maybe one is just coming off of positive earnings? If the charts are similar, how do you break that tie?
Yeah, both of those. I mean, coming off of earnings is a definite huge one, and this was an earnings-related move in ALKS. That the catalyst was right over here on this day, and as you said, short interest. That is, especially when the stock's at new all-time highs. I love to see the short interest. And there is a similar stock, which is TGTX, which is another biotech stock. And these guys, this stock has been a really big stock for me over the last couple of years. So I know a little bit about what they do. It's also right on this 20-day moving average. And you can see this 5-day moving average is flattening out. So this is another one that I'd love to see it maybe do something like this. And in the next couple of days, by the end of the week, this one could start to see a bigger continuation back to the upside. And the thing is, ALKS, it's not profitable this year, but it's expected to be profitable next year, whereas TGTX is profitable. So they've got a real drug. The revenues last quarter were up 70%. So when I look at the fundamentals, I like to look at the basics. Are they selling more stuff? Are they making more money doing it? Because it tells me there are other people interested in this stock for those reasons.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect way to frame it. Like you always have to pick and choose. That being said, like in some ways too, like if you if you're not in before they start making money, sometimes you can miss a little bit of the move. So you look for those technical entries. Is there any names that we didn't get to that might be on your mind? We haven't really talked too much. Everything has been tech, and then a few of your picks here have been in the biopharma space. So I want to give you a chance, if there's something that's like non-tech related you've been looking at. I don't know if you've been watching energy at all. Clearly, there's been a little bit of volatility there. Anything else on your mind?
Let's see. I guess this MTCH, I haven't bought it yet. Match Group. It's got a good-looking longer-term chart as well. If you look at let's go to the weekly time frame here. It's got this longer-term base that it's been in for really several years, right? I mean, look at how long it's been in this. And it's building in here for maybe a bigger break of this range.
Crazy.
But I want to be a buyer here on this daily time frame. We've got a nice consolidation, and it's holding the anchor off of this April low. So when I look down to a shorter term time frame, it still hasn't made that higher high. So I like it. You know, the last week we saw two highs at 35.99. If it can get above that, then I like it with a stop probably underneath today's low, or maybe even as low as the low from last Thursday.
See, it's not just about tech. I knew we'd be able to find something in there. Because matches, I promise you, there's a few names that you have not heard, like at least 2 or 3 now, and we appreciate you coming on, as always, Brian, that you're not always going to be able to hear. It's easy to look at tech, and I know we get a lot of questions about it, and we appreciate you coming through every single time there, Brian. And realistically, it's been a while. It's definitely been a hot minute.
Yeah.
And Match, in particular, when you look at Match, I wanted to look at the monthly chart because sometimes you want to zoom out.
Into Apple there.
There's something we say about like a long consolidation. The longer the consolidation, the better the break. Is that something you ascribe to, or sort of it is what it is? The levels are the levels. Because I always like the longer consolidation even better. I just feel like when it finally releases the pressure, like Intel was the best example of that that you can find.
As they say, the bigger the base, the higher in space. And looking at this monthly chart, it's been 2.5 years in here that it's been going sideways. So this is the type of name. I mean, forget about what they do for a minute, but this is just the cyclical flow of money. Stage 2 uptrend, stage 3 distribution, stage 4 decline, stage 1 accumulation, breaking out in here. This is what typically happens with these types of names. We saw it with Palantir. Of course, that's more of that's a big tech name. But we saw the same thing, that we saw that consolidation in here for 1.5 years, where people completely wrote Palantir off, and from there came this ginormous move. So these, maybe Match comes out with some kind of AI that picks the absolute perfect partner for every person, and that's what the catalyst is. Who knows what the story ends up being, but I do get more excited about that because it makes me think this is the type of stock, if you can get a good entry into this here, this is the type of stock you can buy and think you might hold. Buying Micron up here today at 905, that's not the time to be a buyer for a longer term hold.
Perfectly.
Maybe it is, who knows? I mean, it could. Maybe it goes to 1,500, but just a little bit of common sense of where has it come from tells me that, from 300 to 900 just here in a few months, maybe it needs to cool off.
The other thing, too, is that buying the highs.
You can insert any stock there, right?
But you have to get a price you can hold.
Well, yeah.
It's hard to hold a 900 if it goes against you. If
I know how you can hold just like this.
Just close your eyes. Is Ray Charles that sucker?
Hey, do we like green today or what? I mean, all of us are there. I don't know if that's a gray shirt there
That's great.
or not, but I think it's green one there. You see my hat there, Palantir. I'm glad that you discussing a little bit of Palantir there today. But Brian, thank you so much. Any more vacations, or can we maybe expect to see you in good health here next week at this time? Because people in the chat absolutely love it. And we want to thank you for all your insights once again.
Yeah, I'll be here.
Yes.
There we go.
All right, good. All right, thank you, Brian. Enjoy the rest of your week. Yeah, happy belated Memorial Day, of course, and we had yesterday off. So glad to hear that you went out there, traveled around a bit, and we'll see you next week.
Man.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Brian.
Thanks,
there he
everybody.
goes, man. At Alpha Trends, forgot to mention that. Go check him out on StockTwits and on X at Alpha Trends, the best in the business. You're right. It's Brian Shannon.
I'd love to go to
right there. Yeah, Grand Canyon would be a
on the
great
bucket
one there.
list.
Yeah, go with somebody you love there. And
I
make
just
sure
want
they
to
don't-
take Aaron.
make sure they don't push you down. Yeah. Yeah. So right here. So there's $500 at 15 cents. I have no idea what's going on with AMD. So we just bought. Like we tried to take that 500 break again. This time we got some out at 45s or whatever that was there, near the high. You know. Then it dropped in, and I said, you know what, like. You know, we got Brian on. I might as well try to use some sort of technical stuff. And then it came right into the 200 period the 50 period moving average. We took a bid there, and that's now what we're rolling with. I'm at 501.75, and there it is, not even getting hit now because we're in between. Just to show you, I'm at 75 and not even getting, that's 501.75, so that's not true. There goes a nice play here, as we are now multiples in the money. If Joe was here, he'd be laughing, but there it is, man. It is, oh, he's here. It's now $2. He always wants to know what kind of clubs we're in right now. There it is your $2 club. Finally, now green on AMD finally for myself here today, as we had to wait a minute. You know, just a bunch of blow-ups there. Go. Now I'm at 501.75 here for AMD. Sorry about that. Before, when I thought I was at $500.75. Now we're at 501.75. We just got missed up there. Your high of the day is 79s, but that just blew through me. So sometimes you do wind up missing on those. And here we go, man. We are now at the high of the day for myself. And it's just been such a good day trading these names. But don't get carried away. You know, they can always come right back in quite nicely for you. So we will continue to take profits where it lies and hopefully be able to watch AMD get back there to said upside. But yeah, good. Always great to have Brian on. And boom, shakalaka. It's the hot dog cannons as we get that price up there. We'll wait to see if we get a little bit more. Where's my stop out going to be? If you say right here, you're going to be right. 499-ish now as a stop area. We'll go a little lower than that. But, you know, you don't want to hold on to these things for too long. We did have Brian on, and both us, both Neil, myself, Brian, everybody on the show, Joe, everybody actually, talking about stop orders, right? And it's yes. Like this could easily have run down out, and our stop was just a little under this 498, so we did have to let this one breathe a little bit. $1 worth of a stop to make $2 now, so let's capture that out, and if it does come back up, that's my next place, and we'll see how far it can run, because like Micron, you know, who knows?
Ever?
This is now, yeah, forever, just continues to run higher. You can see bouncing off the 50-period moving average as well. So we've got it here on AMD. Let's see if we get that 75 print, and then we'll let the rest ride upside house money time.
What if they never come down? That's sort of the thing you ask yourself. That's why you try to buy the dips that are available to you. Yeah. And this is exactly why we appreciate Brian. He's such a level head when it comes to all of this, which is important. Like the longer you're in it, like the more you'll be level-headed. But the other thing you want in terms of stops is also want some take profit. So, you know, Uber is trying to bounce off that 70 again. So the next available bounce, we'll look for another lower high to grab. This has just been a dog. And you know what? This sucker has been a dog for a while. I don't know what's...
Oh, shit.
It doesn't really matter what's wrong with it. But until it gets to 68... I think this is the short until it gets to $68. We'll probably come in tomorrow thinking the same thing. And if it loses 68, the stock is in a whirlwind of hurt. LUNR's finding a bit of a bounce here. It's actually Fly that I might be more interested in. LUNR bounced off 31 and change and now headed back a little bit higher. But Firefly, aerospace, goes right into, stop me if you've heard this before, VWAP.
Stop.
And bouncing off the volume-weighted average price. So I'm going to try the long here on this VWAP bounce on Firefly. It never broke the 62. That's a good thing about a breakout trade. If it never breaks, you don't have to take it. But now I'm going to take this bounce off of VWAP here for Firefly. After they got a positive story, LUNR got absolutely punked to the downside. Went the other way. But that's how they run, these high flyer names. You get one bad news story, like watch out, like Rocket Labs had bad news, or ASTS. Both of those could just absolutely get smoked. Today, it just happened to be LUNR. But good so far for Firefly. All it has to do is hold VWAP. Looking for that little break, give it to the prior bar, so it's about 58.5 here, and then play back into the highs. 60 first resistance on Firefly, and not to be mistaken with Firefly Neurosciences.
And I'm glad that you know, we're trading volatile names. Like right here, we're now $6 in the money. Joe was always wondering, he was waiting to see when we would talk about that, but there it goes now. $6 upside for advanced micro devices. So if volatility is your game, then you understand that it creates movement. And for sophisticated traders, movement creates, of course, opportunity. Beta Pro by Global X offers Canada's first and longest running suite of levered and inverse levered ETFs built for sophisticated investors who understand the risks of leverage and have ETFs tied to the Nasdaq 100. These strategies are currency hedge seeking, wow, I can't even get through this, man. And this is absolutely nuts here on AMD. They're seeking to offset US dollar exposure back to the Canadian dollar. For those navigating short-term market moves up or down, Beta Pro offers the flexibility to act with conviction, whatever that looks like for your portfolio and your strategy, objectives, and risk profile. Trade tactically, learn more at Beta Damn Pro. Booyaka, betapro.ca. Go scan that QR code and let's get going because the face slapper continues. That just went to almost 506 there. Went to 505.50. So, hey, man, let's put a little offer out now as, yeah, there it goes. Completely, I mean, just stunned here as AMD continues to climb through that 505 marker. And I don't know, high 505.50. We'll get another piece out. We're getting lighter and lighter on it, man. I mean, you gotta, like we said, you're playing with house money, and that's exactly what we're doing. I'm gonna get out one more piece right there at 01s. We crossed down, made that level. So now we're getting less and less into this name. I still want to try to play it back to 5 bills. So we'll change our stop right now back over breaking. Let's go $500.99, and just in case it's on sale, we'll get out of half of it if it breaks below that, okay? But there it goes, upside, 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 and just continues to keep a smile on this guy's face. Although, the trading is what it is. We know what we're doing, and it's just great to be here, being able to put these trades on and show you guys. Obviously, you can clearly see we all have many different styles, and there goes AMD. I like the big cap names. we went over to that LUNR, and I would have loved to short that thing. But, again, crying over spilled milk, I would have taken the same amount of shares. I probably wind up taking more on AMD than I would have over here. And AMD's $6, and this name from top to bottom is like $6. So we'll have to wait. There's that halt that we could have got, 38.50. That would have never gone against us. So that was a really good play as well. But Neil's on fly, so it's the same story basically. So yeah, we're trading volatile names, and there it goes now. Now $7 to the upside on advanced micro devices. Oh boy.
Shout out to Real Trading, which we are trading with Real Trading. If you want to find volatile names, it's there. But also, the campus program is back.
Oh, good.
So let's make sure you can always just go to realtrading.com. And if we always get questions like, hey, what platform are you guys trading on? And we're like, we're trading on P8. And P8 is proprietary to Real Trading. And that's why when we talk about things like LUNR and that close, like that halt print to the downside, and then getting on a bunch of dark pools to try to take advantage of it, well, we have just about, a million keys, but we have a bunch of dark pools we have access to, lots of ways to get liquidity. And it's all through P8, and you can check out the campus program if you are located outside of the US, of course, just so everyone knows. So they're back. Just go to realtrading.com/campus, and you'll be able to get more information on that, and maybe trade some space names, maybe trade some chip names. And I know we just keep talking about space and chips, but what are you going to do? That's what's moving today. It's the space names, it's the chip names. Fly is doing a VWAP bounce. We talked about this with Brian. Like, look at, this isn't a clean VWAP bounce, the first one. The second one, it goes into VWAP, and sometimes you've got to be lucky to be good. If you were playing a pullback into Fly on a VWAP back here, you would have had this bounce, and then you would have had the news come and hit as well. And you could have been taking the same breakout here and been long at like 59, and it goes up to 62. Now I'm in a secondary bounce, so it could have head and shoulders. Like I said, you got to take some out in front of the 60 level, so 59 to 60. The news took you to 62. Never think the second move is as big as the first, but you lock in the buck, and then I'll have a break-even stop, and then just see where it can go. So Fly up, LUNR down. I haven't looked at Rocket Labs, and what is that thing doing today? I like some Rocket Labs. What's Rocket Lab and ASTS? Probably not even having a good day. So you got to be on the right ones. Again, like LUNR, like Fly had a story, LUNR had a story. LUNR was a much bigger missed opportunity. But I only wanted the halt trade. I didn't really want it after the fact because I like that gimmicky trade. Like I'm a pretty big fan of the liquidity event. And when you have a liquidity event like that, it is very binary. Take print. jump in, I'm going to get out. Easily, if you take it, I'm getting out of 80% on the reopen. Get the halt price, get the open price, hold on to the rest. If it happens to go, it goes. And it's just the fact that you know there's going to be that massive liquidity event and end up being true. And if you don't profit from it, actually, if you held on, you would have won great. Like, it never comes back. So LUNR getting absolutely smoked. This is why we locked in back to that 60 level, already starting to pull back in. But this can't go past break even. So long effectively at 59. Best fill at 60. 59 half and 60. So the $0.50 and the dollar here on fly. And then we'll look for another opportunity. And maybe it's LUNR. I doubt it's going to be that. Hertz Scrambler is asking me, should I sell my WonderFi for a full, but just get on the offer, man. I got filled. You can, so he's asking about WonderFi because the deal's going to close on the 1st. WonderFi is being bought for 36 cents by Robinhood. You can get 36 cents on the offer right now. If you get filled, then you get your money early. You're not getting any better than the 36 cents. If you can ever get the buyout price before the deal closes, you take it every single time. 100% you should. There's zero downside to taking it right now if you can get it on the offer. That's a no-brainer.
We just missed 507 by 4 pennies, $8. So I'm at 507. You know what? Now that we missed it, let's just go here. What's the difference? I'm going to go to 30. We'll cancel all 07s. We'll go to 507. 40 now with that same offer. And we'll take that 30 fill. So we'll take a 30 fill out right now. We have exactly 10% left. So exactly 10% left. I just switched it over to 502. We'll get it at half if it does break there. But yeah, this is just into the close. We're having a day today, man. I mean, Apple finally came out on that break, but we had less than 10% left. 309. This is still my number one stock, despite what we just did there on AMD. We're flat, completely flat today on Microsoft. Like, we went short there, got run over, then made a move down. So, I mean, flat to up, but nothing worth talking about there on Microsoft. We didn't hold all the way. Like, we basically just got back to flat here. And then these little takes, we had like 20% left on our position. So something to talk about, but nothing to write home about. SoFi here as well, similar kind of trading. This was a much better trade for me because we had it right away. And this was listed here. We had 409, we have $15.75 to $16 written down for SoFis. That's pretty much right in the right range today. So we take 16 early. We have 309 written down for Apple. We had SMR at 11.75. We can have a quick little look at this name. New Scale, of course. Didn't get into the long term on this name yet. We were bidding a little bit lower. We got filled on, wait a minute, I got filled on one of them this morning, either SoFi or SMR. I think it was probably with SoFi. But SMR today didn't.
Personal?
Or, yeah, on the personal. Did 11.75? We wrote down 11.75 today. That's the pre-market. That's right at open, 9:30. So we didn't get in to 11.75. I wonder about that. But anyways, okay, so that's SMR. Then the other name that we wanted today was long the Nasdaq, but you know, the Nasdaq didn't give us much to cheer about for the long, especially when it happens in the first 5 minutes. We could have hit that level. I wrote down 79, so we only got into 80. We really took off. Like, when I'm writing these notes down, it's 7:30, 8 o'clock, so on and so forth. So we were at 80, looking for a little bit of a dip. Doesn't really happen. And then now the Nasdaq's up 1.6%, 1.7% right now and going higher. So, all right, Bitcoin's had a day. It's downside there.
Well, it's had a crappy day.
Yeah, I know. So Bitcoin's down, not even that bad. Less than 1%, of course, not even close to that, but it was up and now it's down. So we did get to 79,000. Now you can see the live quote down here, 75.8, as there was, issues on the Clarity Act maybe not coming to market the same way it was in the first place. So we'll have to find out. Oh, we can check out. I was going to look at PayPal just quickly, but let's see what Circle's doing. These guys are the USDC, so obviously there's a downside push there for Circle, and yeah. This is what we talked about, sometimes trading. And, when we look at a name like Palantir up to 175, and we look at, where Marvell is, what we did with ARM there, and I'm glad, taking profits seemed to have been okay as far as Brian is concerned on some ARM. But what about Circle might have been the exact same thing. You'd come up here to 140 after making a huge all-time high, again, right off the open of $300. And by open, I mean the first month or so, made another high there of 265, not quite back. Then since then, it's just been kind of downside. And then you get this relief rally all the way back up into 140, and that's good. I don't know if you would have been able to get out there, thinking maybe more. But then that last time we got to 140, really no excuse. if you miss that one. So that's 135 to 140 for Circle now, maybe looking for reloads in around that 70 to 80 mark. So Circle, definitely a name to look at if you're looking at some crypto space. Coinbase, another good one.
Broken.
And MSTR, we had JKL talking about
He's
that.
still got to be happy with.
I would think happy is a good way of putting it.
MSTR gave it all back today. I mean, I didn't think it was going this far to the downside. And again, like whatever. Like I was taking a trend break trade. Like it was an uptrend. I was playing it right back into the prior high. We're literally sitting at the lows. The market's going to the highs. MSTR is literally chilling at the absolute lows. I just feel like this is the short to pop every single chance that you're able to get. And this crypto's, it's not it for crypto right now. It just ain't it. And you got to be able to understand when something's bullish and the market can be as bullish as you want. You can say everything you want about Bitcoin being a risk on, risk off asset. Well, it ain't moving with the Nasdaq now. You want to decouple from the Nasdaq, you probably don't like it anymore. And I feel the same way, but I think it's also part of the halving cycle. You might have to wait till next year, at least late this year, maybe when things will look a little bit better. So I'm just not really that excited about Bitcoin, and I don't think I will be till a minimum back half of this year. Maybe it can get going, but at 75,000, we've been here for way too long. Only about 20 minutes, 30 minutes till the imbalances. There's a couple potential today. Peloton, one of them. Firefly did come back out to the break even. It's got that head and shoulders look. Maybe it goes, but if I'm playing the second bounce off in news, I'll be happy to take the scalp trade that we get, right? Like 50 and then a buck, and then was risking about 40 to 50 pennies on it in the first place. I'll take the break even. Just take the shot, move on, and take the win. It's been a productive day. Like last week was a mixed week. I don't know how it was for everybody else, but like I was like up 3 days. One of them was close to the flat, and 2 of them were red. Well, today's good enough to wipe out the 2 bad days. I think that's all you're ever really asking for. And it was just sort of finding those little spots in there where you could get it in good and then move on to the next opportunity, which, as I said, might be the close. We got some early looks that are of interest. One of them is Redwire, up a bunch today, over 20%. Another big-time space name. You got the EWZ. We'll see. Probably nothing burger. Pinterest, 1.7 million to the buy side. NVRI, that actually, I believe that's some kind of I think that's a delete today. NVRI, yes it is. S&P 600 deletion NVRI. Tonight, Peloton is going into the S&P 600. And it's a rather large, 57 million shares are supposed to be bought of PTON. The downside is it's not a New York stock. Peloton's on the Nasdaq. So we're not going to have an early look. We're not going to have any idea until 350 hits. Is it actually coming out a buy? So I can't tell you which way it's going to come out. If it comes out a buy, it's probably going to shoot up. I'd probably try to get the long if it comes out a buy. The algos will be pretty quick with it. But that's a pretty massive 57 million buy. Peloton's done 17 million shares today. So you're expecting 3 times the daily volume going into the closing auction. One of the biggest ones that we've seen in quite some time. So you got to be able to look out for it. Yeah, Commodity King, it's a dog water stock, but an event's an event, right? Like 57 million shares. Like I don't care, Cerebras, maybe I don't know anything about that stock, but I'm going to trade the open on it, on the IPO issue, right? Like how many times do you see us trade stocks that it's just about the move, it's just about the event, and with Peloton, I don't like the company either, but if that sucker comes out 50 million to the buy side, I'll probably try to punch long and ride it for 5 minutes. That's just part of the game. You do that all the time in stocks that might be trash. It is what it is. Like it's not a judgment. Going long on a company when you're a day trader is not a judgment on what you think about the stock. Believe me, if it was, yeah, there's just no chance that is true. You'll buy lots of stuff that you think is trash.
Yeah, we talked about that. Neil actually mentioned it, like the big liquidity events is where all the money's made. On a prop floor. So yeah, pay attention to anything that opens up like that. That's why as soon as LUNR went out, same type of thing. I mean, AMD, same type of thing there. A lot of big money is going to be made on key level breaks, right? So that 500, like people are willing to hold that just goes $6 or $7. You have 1,000 shares there, that's 6 G's, But anyway, it doesn't matter. You could have 10,000 shares and you're at 60 G's. So it is what it is. And look at that name like Micron as well, $9.12, $9.13. It's part of the reason why we talked about that, all the success that comes from this floor specifically on IPOs. The largest days in this floor's history on the show are IPO days. And it makes obvious reasons. We've discussed that new times as well. New poll, bigger trash, SoFi or Iceman? SoFi for sure. Iceman.
And Iceman literally at the top of every single billboard.
Yeah, exactly. It just breaks records there. Most people that hate on Drake hate on him because they're haters. But generally speaking, Iceman, not the greatest album, but definitely better than, there hasn't been a hip hop album.
What are you gonna do? Like the stock, like SoFi stock is like what? How much?
SoFi stock's got chopped in half.
Yeah, like it's an unfair comparison.
But Drake actually had a really great Instagram thing with a couple of people there recently, and that's a lot of fun. And then that KD commercial
that was
absolutely
jokes, I gotta
hilarious. So shout out to the Raptors and the 416 being represented there. Oh, what's up?
Oh, I was just going to say here, with the whole Drake thing, he's also dealing with some perhaps plagiarism or copying allegations related to Iceman, specifically coming from 1900 Rugrat, a Florida rapper. I mean, believe them if you will, don't believe them if you won't. There are some receipts suggesting they were in talks ahead of that, and then Drake potentially stole his beat. So make of that what you will. But yeah, I think like that to me kind of sours Iceman a bit. And that being said, I did like some songs on the album.
Oh man, some random guy claiming that he stole his beat. Yeah, this is hip hop. So that's what I'm saying. Like if we're gonna talk
in music all the time,
we're gonna talk about someone stealing beats. But anyways, shout out to Adara, who has been hard on Drake, and I like the fact that she just said,
Jay-Z stole a whole man's flow and nobody cares.
No, it doesn't. People will say whatever they want.
It is like it's part of music. Like what'll happen is, and like I'm not. First of all, Jay-Z didn't up and say he was going to steal a dude's flow, but like there was a New York group at the time that was huge, and like the style embedded into it. Like it's you hear something that's good, and it can get into your flow. You have
it's
natural
fine. It's what it
voice. It is what it is, man.
That's fine. But I hope that
I
hope that Rugrat guy gets a little piece of the pie. Drake's total discography or whatever it's called is about to be bought for over $2 billion. So let's stop talking about success here. All right, so here goes AMD. I just want to say we've changed our out.
SoFi.
So like, I don't know, now it's 503.50 out for half, but we've already been getting out as it's bleeding down a little bit there. All right, there it is, man. Shout out to Howard. We want to say thank you so much for that. Brian's been on the show forever, man. I mean, it goes way back. You could go on my Instagram. I was tagging this man for a very, very long time. We love us some Brian Shannon there at Alpha Trends. Oh, here's his book, by the way. Maximum Trading Gains with Anchored VWAP. So go get that right now on, I was going to say on Instagram, on X. Well, he's on
You can
X,
find him on
Go
X.
grab it on Amazon is the word I'm looking for now. As you mentioned there, the retail business always. Here, Brian, I'll keep that there.
Chilling.
Until it falls.
And it's perfectly color-coded with the almost...
There we go, right over my shoulder there. Of course, I get 10% of everything sold from now until 4 o'clock. So please make sure you go and get that. And of course, that would be not true, but shout out to Brian there. And he's mentioned before that he was working on potentially another book. So we say shout out to Brian. And I'm not leaking that. He put that on the show. I don't even know that to be true. But okay, so that's our last half there that will come out. And then we had 10% left. Now we have, I guess, 8.5% left as we just taking out pieces. Yeah, I wish, Ozan, that I read that book every night. I'm not a big book reader, nor do I even have time. As soon as I hit, like last night we were at baseball again, and tonight we're at hockey, and I don't have too much time, but that's not an excuse. It's just the truth. Hopefully one day we will be able to rest up and start to read. I do know how to read, though. Of course, we read those ads all of the time. All right, so that's what's going on there. Just a quick look. That's what Micron. AMD's
read
doing.
Ads? What?
Sometimes.
Those are all genuine, off the cuff.
Yes, and they just sound exactly the same every day. Yeah.
Well, the ability to read it, see, you have this one thought, you sort of get it right, it feels right, and then you end up reading it exactly the same way every single time. That's just how I roll.
Yeah, I like.
Or not.
We like that. We want to say thank you to everybody
for
bringing those ads and.
Let's just do this for you guys for free
every single day, right?
Mad appreciation.
So, I don't know. I mean, LUNR. I want to trade that. I see some people talking about it in the chat, and I'm looking for that liquidity event right now. And the volume was there. Now it's trying to battle back. I think this is probably a day 2 look until we break somewhere here. I don't mind shorting it at 37. It's tried to go back through those areas. I guess the buyers kind of said no, but I almost feel like, okay, AMD should be coming out momentarily. I put a 503.50 break, so I guess it has to break sort of clean through that. Maybe we need it on the offer, because right now it's looking at the time in sales. Okay, so we get a 37 fill. So there it goes breaking. So we do cash out of that one. We'll go props. Now we'll go our last little bit, breaking through 502, maybe give it to 501, and then we will sell out the rest of this bad boy right now.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, $300.99. Yeah, go ahead. I'm just.
If you well, this is maybe not fair because Marvell has to. If you had to have one at the highs, because these things are all going ham, and I won't make you pick Micron. ARM, well, I guess ARM's pullback. ARM, AMD, or Marvell. But you gotta buy it at the top. Marvell for sure.
Oh, Marvell's my baby.
Okay, fair enough.
I gotta stick with that.
Maybe I should, okay,
throw it out with the bathwater.
Okay, then no, then let's throw that up because you already have them. Then
I just bought ARM.
Then let's go Micron then. If I take out Marvell and go Micron.
The only thing is Micron is still well valued. It still doesn't even have that crazy of a PE.
Not that crazy.
I don't, at the highs, I think just we have to go with Micron because of the momentum that it has in the name. You're talking about Micron or
Well,
AMD?
I thought I was going to say that and ARM.
ARM.
I didn't want Micron to be in there because I felt like Micron still had the valuation. It would be the easier pick. Whereas I own ARM and I still think, my goodness, if this whole thing falls apart. Anyways.
The good thing about ARM is they do have, they're in mobile, and mobile is big.
They have a good base. But that base, that base has been $80 to $100 on ARM. And really, it's a new chip business that has all the exuberance, I think, now. And if that's something that becomes if it unwinds, it just feels like ARM could be down at like 125 if it loses the 180. Still love the stock.
I know I sold some AMD today, like here at 497, but probably if I could choose any of those, I still think there's more to run in just the actual brains of the operation, the GPUs. And so I do think that AMD does have still a runway to go. I mean, if these companies are still reporting monster earnings and still using CapEx money to throw at this, and we talked about early stages. I mean, some of the people much smarter than you and I are saying that we're early times. So if we're early times into this, then where exactly is AMD going to go from here? I think higher still. Although that sounds crazy to say, but what are we supposed to do? Choosing one or the other. That's why I
remember ARM is now doing, the chip licensing business is their bread and butter, but they are going to make their own chips. They're not seeing revenue from that for a couple of years. They said it themselves. Is it big? Yes, it's 3x their revenue. That's huge growth potentially for them, but it is still down the line. Then let's not sleep on Intel. Intel's pretty good.
AMD has not lapped NVIDIA. What's up, James? Adam James abroad. AMD just was beat up a lot, and it got hit because of NVIDIA. If you're talking about returns, yeah, I mean, AMD is like, what is the difference between AMD and NVIDIA? NVIDIA is what, 20 or 30% this year? Yeah. AMD is probably 500%. So shout out to you, Adam. I'm going to say that is an absolutely awesome call because you have been talking about it here in lots of super chats. So shout out to you with your call there. I was honestly thinking, and my portfolio is disgustingly weighted towards everything tech. It's so stupid that I just started buying like the S&P 500 about a year and a half, 2 years ago, because I really felt like, overexposed, that sounds funny, but, to the space. So that's why I'm thinking right now, something like this, man. And it's kind of like every time I sell something, like I sold ARM and bought NVIDIA. So I'm like not doing what I'm saying, but into this. So sell ARM, which is pretty extended. And we just talked about where NVIDIA is. So I don't mind that trade. But what about a Procter? What about a J&J? We talked about Walmart. We've talked about, I still do own some Target into there. I think those are all decent plays, as well as, Big Bear AI is a shot in the dark, so I'm not going to include that one into there. But also my biggest non-tech, and I know, we've talked about Caterpillar, we've talked about,
It's still just more AI risk. Though.
Yeah, that's why Caterpillar. So I think Eli Lilly is something here on dips that I want to try to get a little longer in, and we weren't able. We did buy a little bit here. I mean, we talk about it all the time. It used to be my biggest, but not. Yeah, there it goes, man. So we'll see if we can get back up to 1120. You're one story away. We got 1090 today already. So.
I didn't buy enough of that on the dip because I didn't realize how much the other tech names would be outweighted. So
it's already.
I don't know. Like I need to buy more of. It's that, or it's going to be the financials. The next available dip.
Oh yeah, financials would be a good.
The next available dip on Morgan Stanley is something that I'll be trying to.
aren't
trying to
sexy
play into.
enough.
Well, I don't know. Goldman and Morgan are doing absolutely.
But then you're not buying dips.
Well, there was a dip. There was there was a good dip. I just don't know where the next one's going to come. There was a
Hopefully
good
that
dip into the
happens
200 on Morgan Stanley, but I don't know that I can wait till the 200 period moving average next time. Maybe I'm looking for the 50. It's just fantastic. And again, you don't have to be diversified. Diversification is just something that.
Damn you, Kramer.
A lot of people, if you're young
listen to that
enough,
guy.
but if you're young enough, I don't know, like how much. Forget about the bond thing, like the old 60-40 and all that kind of nonsense, because that stuff only matters when you get older, I suppose. Like that's what analysts will tell you.
60-40, oh my God.
But if you have a base in, let's just say, like the market, like you just own the SPY, and you own a position in the SPY or the Qs, like that can be the diversification for you, and then you pick some individual names. I just love Morgan Stanley. I just feel like you buy dips on this, and they always seem to manage to win, the same way Goldman always seems to manage to win. Now, they know how to play the game, and you can hate them all you want, and I get it, and maybe that's even fair, but it doesn't matter. They just keep winning. So,
yeah, I mean, Goldman has a SpaceX IPO. I mean, there's lots.
Well, Goldman's been winning. Aren't they getting OpenAI as well? Adara, didn't Goldman?
That was rumored.
Adara, did Goldman also get it?
Morgan Stanley, not confirmed. Both of them are apparently in talks.
There you go. Tesla making a bit of a bounce here. Still an inside day for Tesla, up 1.5%. This was the one I was trying to pull up on Blue Ocean, but couldn't to show you guys the overnight. But whatever, it's not working. So that doesn't really make a difference. But now breaking higher as we're getting close to the imbalances. Again, we won't see Peloton till either it's too late or 350. I don't know, maybe it won't be too late. NVRI it's supposed to be, that's the deletion. So I guess Peloton's replacing whatever NVRI is. I don't know them.
Peloton's
it's the S&P 600, so they're replacing these guys. They're coming out. Peloton's going in. Redwire is still 2.4 million to buy. Pinterest is still 1.7 million to the buy side. Nokia is a sell. Early look sell of 1 million shares. Pin's not really having a very good day. Luis says you've been telling me since $2 ago on Tesla.
$2 ago? What was that, like 5 minutes ago? Yeah, I mean, Tesla's been. We always talk about U.S. banks. Shout out, there's Softy, so what's up, JK? I mean, we really love, I'm thinking about, but I don't want to get into tech names, but I really like Softy, where that is, so shout out to Mr. Softy down there. We seem to always talk about U.S. banks, whether or not it's SoFi, whether or not it's JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, whatever, you want, but... wow, Royal Bank. These are all. This is ry.to. You can grab it at ry.ny. It's also all these names are dual listed over on the New York Exchange. So TD Bank, Bank of Nova Scotia, CM, which is CIBC. They're all there. But National Bank, NA. But you can see there 220. Good level there. We were just there in March. Now you're up to 260. So the bank's pretty stable here in Canada as well, as we have a different six-pillar system over here, whereas no regional banks have the same impact or the same lending capabilities as in the United States. But yeah, so look, they're all, doesn't matter. Here's TD, there's TDNY. You could drop it down. That's the thing about our system. You can grab it in Toronto. You could grab it in New York. It's the same thing to the upside for all these names. Hearing Twilio, Adara, popping potentially. Not doing anything, but just heard some sort of thing about Twilio. I really like this name. This is another one of those. I think this might have been a direct list as well. I got into this real early Twilio. I'm not in it anymore, so I can't even remember what the prices were. This Snowflake, Palantir were like the three big ones that I got into when they first came to market. TWLO.
Wasn't there a take two? Wasn't there like a Grand Theft Auto headline
with Twilio?
No. I'm just no.
No, what's his? Fabian mentioned that there was potentially a.
That's what
what do they call it? A preview today.
Okay.
What am I looking for? Trailer.
The trailer got delayed because I was wondering.
Trailer.
That's. Well,
yeah, of course, it should go down.
If you have alerts for stocks that are at the low of the day, take two is.
Why couldn't I think about the name trailer?
Flat bottom.
How easy is that?
Flat bottom breaking. The trailer was delayed, and now.
Is that where was the trailer? No. That's Friday. That's a daily chart. That's Friday.
This is Friday.
Unless it was delayed Friday, maybe.
This is today.
But there's today. So we'll see if it's breaking. Adara's got something. I don't know if Twilio or Take Two.
I have nothing on Twilio, and that's what I want to tell you guys on social media. No one has posted anything tagging the stock in 20 minutes. So whatever this spike is, it does not seem to be supported by any news or even social media interest in the stock. No one seems to really care.
Yeah, a little bit of a.
be, though.
Yeah, I thought I heard. Oh, there it is. Watching Twilio, hearing investor. Oh, it's Investor Business Daily, buying it. So okay, Investor Business Daily. You guys do, go off Investor Daily there, do you? But there it comes right back up the upside one more time. $6 on advanced micro devices. So we'll just, we almost got. Look, we told you where our stop was. 503.50. Breaking at that time was the 25 period moving average. But there it goes right back upside now. No offers. Let's see. Well, I'll put an offer at 507. I mean, if it comes up to the high of the day. 506. Let's go 506.50. All right, we'll put an offer there. We've got another $1.50 to go until it comes into that area. And then we already have Phil's there, so we'll take it again. Shout out to Phil. I missed him last night. We'll maybe see him tonight, but we have hockey again. 506.50 right into there. And then it's tuna melt time. And we'll get ready to go with more trading tomorrow. Obviously, we have Zscaler coming. I don't know if you have.
That's about it.
I do.
She does have it. Yeah, we'll throw it up. Daryl will show you guys. Go over to TTV Research. That's exactly where I was going to go to find out who's reporting today or tomorrow. Okay, there we go. What do you want to talk about this guy over here? Jay Chaudhry. Right now, it seems like a lot of these CEOs, Asian, we had Google, here we go, Zscaler. So a lot of nice moves to the upside here. South Asian, of course, upside for Zscaler. I'm not sure if they're going to be the CrowdStrike kind of movement. I haven't seen Zscaler in a while. That's their daily chart?
They're more in the off the lows kind of look. CrowdStrike and Fortinet are more, and Palo Alto are on the blow it out and have already broken way away. But Zscaler lagging a little bit. But it plays both ways. That just means there's more room for it to catch up. What's the implied move? I don't know if we have the implied move there, Adara. Okay, Adara's going to look for the implied move, but it's worth noting $28, $32 from here, which would be about 15 to 16%. That'd be the 13.7. So if you get that, you're shy of the 200 period moving average. So call it resistance up here at the 220, and then of course the expected move. That could be a bit of a wall to watch out for in the aftermarket there for Zscaler. But no, CrowdStrike, Palo Alto, this is the move that you're, and you didn't know when we had Software Mageddon or Claude Mageddon or whatever the heck you're calling it, you didn't know where the bottom was gonna be. But it was kind of hanging around it for a while. It was back and forth like a bunch of times, half a dozen times at $400, just going back and forth. And most of the time, it didn't really look all that good. But if you like it, you grit your teeth and you dip by. I saw someone say it's been a hard time for CVX. Yeah, well, oil's coming back in. You've seen it, right? They end this conflict. Do you think it's going to look good? What do you think this is going to look like when eventually they end the conflict? The war's going to end eventually. I don't know when, but it is going to end eventually. And when it does, is it going to look great in CVX? Grit your teeth. I mean, you remember, the Venezuela breakout high was back at $170. So that's kind of like the line where I think it just kind of makes sense to me, and that's the 200 period. So I've already bought once, and I'll buy again if it gets down to that 200 period moving average. You don't necessarily know where the pullback's going to get to, but if you like it in the long term, I like to buy when other people are, if I'm buying for the long term, I just prefer buying it when other people are hating on it if I like it. You just get a better price. And I think this one can give you the 170, especially if they end the war.
I like the CVX talk there, and then you get that XOM. I mean, then you get
both of them. It doesn't matter.
Both of them. You get the dividend associated with that, and so chase yield I don't think is a bad thing right now, especially with interest rates probably staying the same. Let's be perfectly honest as to where interest rates are going to be going. They're 21 days away now till your next and first interest rate announcement from now new Fed Chair Kevin Warsh. But of course, it's a voted thing, and we can have a quick little look here as we continue to talk. I wasn't really watching the dollar today too much to see that movement's come from, but this is what we're expecting right here. Now it's back to 99 problems, and an interest rate decrease ain't one, because it's looking like right now that's going to be a potential increase. I don't know. This is June the 17th. So a couple days after SpaceX, we'll see what the market thinks about that. So 99.2% right now of a chance. And then even into July, I mean, we're still looking the same 88 September. Let's go all the way to December. This is where you potentially get a cut, 47% chance. Actually, 47% chance of a cut in December. So that's nice. right there, 353.75, right? What are we at right now again?
That's
no, that's the same thing. Yeah, it's still flat, so my bad on that one. No chance of a cut, actually, into December. So, yeah, I take that one back. I don't know where this market's going to go from here, but that's what we talked about, the banks maybe looking to get involved over there in this rate environment that we're a little uncertain with. AMD, we're still waiting to see where this name wants to wind up today. Still going to get out if we break through 503. That'll be the last sort of knock on us there. We're waiting for 506.50 into the close. We still have those imbalances. Neil's covered those a little bit for you. Other than that, man, not much going on. Meta. Oh, we had that note about Softy. We can quickly look at that. Softy was, again, a good short today, but at the end of it all, not doing much here. Banking off VWAP right now, 416. Like to see a little bit of a move through that level if you're going to play Microsoft.
Yeah, LUNR might not be done either. That's going to close down over 10% here, it looks like. It was trying to battle back, but you're starting to see it roll over once again. Like, you can forget, sometimes you can forget about VWAP. A lot of times on like a news flash to the downside, the first thing you'll hear us say is, well, maybe if you get it pulling back into the volume weighted average price, that gives you, I think, like sort of an obvious place to look for a continuation. This didn't even get within $4 or $3 of VWAP here. Just tried to close in the gap and just had absolutely nothing. Even Firefly was looking pretty good. That's going to lose VWAP. Basically, 59 to 60 was all you could get for the VWAP bounce, and now it's going to lose the bid. 18% up, though, very different. Like, Firefly is still much, I mean, it's like 1,000 times better, obviously, than what you're seeing over there in LUNR. And I don't wonder if when you get a negative headline like this for LUNR, like losing out on a deal, you were just breaking fresh tops, the selling might not just be immediately done. This could be something tomorrow to have a look at. The space names are in play pretty much every single day, but this one in particular, day 2, just to see if they hold that original halt price, that 36 area. If that can hold on the downside, there'd still be room. Like if it comes in tomorrow and we're 35, 36, there's still room to that 31 low. Yeah, LUNR taking it on the chin. Wish we could have got that opening print after the halt. Oh, not the opening print, I mean the halt print.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
And the other thing, too, is I know some people have said, well, why wouldn't you just take the opening print short? There's a good reason for that. Because like the stock is down 45 to like 38. So it's gone $7 to the downside. It's a $45 stock. And then it opens up another 10% down at 35. A lot of the reason why you're willing to take that halt print is just look at yesterday. Like it's basically coming right into here. Look at all the room for it to continue to fall. When it opens at, it's not yesterday, when it opens at Friday's open price, you're already closed the entire gap in. Like you're taking that for the hopes of getting this. And then just sort of saying, well, I'm going to get out regardless of the open. It's not likely to gap all the way back up when it has negative news. But taking the opening print is just another level of nuts, because at that point, like, where's your upside? And it's not as good. Like, you want to be able to get it on that first halt. And that's something that if you traded the meme stocks, you learned that pretty quickly. So I'm looking at NVRI and Peloton going into these imbalances because Peloton's going into the S&P 600, NVRI is coming out, and Redwire's got a big 3.4 million bid, so it's also going to be there for me as well. Pinterest, that'll probably just pair off. And now that I say that, watch Pinterest be the good imbalance trade, because that's the one that I'm not going to pull up. You can only look at so many things. Peloton's the first look, because it's supposed to be the biggest in terms of net shares. Like 57 million is pretty big. I'll try to punch. If I see a big bid, I'm just going to try to punch long.
All right. Yeah, maybe I was going to say maybe on an imbalance, maybe Microsoft gets going. What other names you guys want to look at? What about MNTS? That was a big one there today. The last ones that have been halting, nothing really. PCLA has been halting back and forth. We can have a quick little look on there. Momentous today, almost closing near the highs, so that's really nice. We'll see if this wants to wind up holding. It's had a hard time staying above 15. It was only there for literally a minute when we broke that first time. We got up to 15.50 and then fell from there, but comes right. I mean, what a good stock the way this looks. Like this is kind of a dream if you're trading the way I do, and that is just looking for this support and resistance. It just comes right into this big level of $12.
Now it's at 1450. So, you know, this trade maybe for tomorrow is momentous, and we'll see what winds up happening there. Up 96% today. I know Adair's busy typing, but there was a story here with MNTS today, and it goes in there $15. We'll see if it winds up breaking that tomorrow. But I like this $12 area there for MNTS. Definitely worth a quick look. We haven't talked about Netflix. That $88 mark still seems to be just hanging around again. Yeah, what was it on MNTS?
So MNTS, after the bell yesterday, they announced that they've granted an inducement award to 6 new employees. Then at 10:30 a.m. today, a little bit before 10:30, they announced that they filed a prospectus for an offering of $200 million. So announced an offering today during the day, announced inducement awards after the bell on Friday.
Normally when we get those offerings, stock normally is going down.
And if it goes up after the offering.
Nice to see that that's really not happening. There. And then so, yeah, good look there. Warner Brothers and Paramount, you know, they're dancing now and they're leaving Netflix by itself. Netflix gets the big payment and says, thank you, see you later. Shoots all the way back up to 108 and then just getting hit back down again. So I don't know. I'd like to hold this through NFL, you know, see what some of those ratings are coming in for them. I know they got good numbers on that most recent UFC fight. I don't know if they have the one that's on the lawn. There, UFC 250 or whatever it is. There, I think it's probably UFC 850. But
if I had to guess, just from the political aspect of it, like Netflix is sort of seen as like left, for lack of, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't see them landing it just because of that. I think that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably already out there. So I don't know who has that. But that's going to be probably well watched, and we'll see Conor McGregor making a comeback at some point as well. So we'll see if that helps. I mean, he's a ratings guy.
Money's there.
So we'll see if he winds up taking out. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I was just saying Conor McDavid is great, and McGregor just for ratings. So that's what I'm saying about Netflix. We'll wait to see if it can hold forward here. I don't know if I want to bail on this. We're in at a pretty good price. All right, the imbalances are now out. What got your attention?
Peloton's only 2.5. The expected was, what did I say, 57 to the buy side, and it's 2.5. So suffice to say that's pretty small. Oh, ASTS, 2 million to the sell side on ASTS. Intel, 1.6 million buy. Walmart, 1.5 million buy. SoFi, 1.5 sell. That's pretty big for them. Starbucks, look some randoms here. Starbucks, 1.3 million to the buy side. NVIDIA, there we go, 1.2 million buy on NVIDIA. That probably shot things up. Red Wire's there again, 1.1 million. Nike, 1 million to the buy side. Oracle, 900,000. It's got to be an overall buy here. Yeah, 1.8 billion to the buy side. And like all the big cap stocks are buys. And then the one that stood out, ASTS with the sell imbalance there. Out of nowhere. Why did Astis get catching strays? They're not news. Well, Peloton just grew. Okay, so Peloton was 2 million, now it's 5. Again, the expected was 27. Suffice to say that is not nearly as big. I was kind of looking for double. I thought it would be over 10 million shares at least on the imbalance. That would have been 1/3 of what was expected. It still has a chance to grow, but I want to see it a little bit bigger than 4 million. It's already paired off 20. This might end up a bit of a nothing burger on Peloton. Like this is what the stock did. Didn't even break out the high here. So I might have to wait for closer to 355. But it's a Nasdaq stock, so that's kind of the cutoff.
Yeah, so we got, I'm still waiting for that to break, but we didn't get anything. So 503.50, another out right there where we stopped out that first. Now we have 5% left of this name. Still looking to get out if it breaks 501, I think I had. That was my first one, the last 5%. But wow, AMD, didn't think that would be there. Now P&L number 2. For me today, AMD, and we just started this at 2 o'clock, so hopefully you guys are with us. You know, this was a keystroke. That was the first break. We tried to average in, it came out. Then we just said, okay, you know, we take that hit, but it didn't break the 50-period moving average. I was more just getting out because didn't want to have that exposure breaking through, and we were using levels then. But now we see it held the 50-period there, and we got back in holding the 50-period there again, and then, you know, a lot of upside for advanced micro devices. Micron, same kind of a story there, got into 915. We didn't trade this, but very similar, breaking through 900 up to 915. And yeah, they continue to go a little lower here on Micron into the close. We'll just wait to see what winds up happening tomorrow. I mean, this day is now over with. These imbalances can have such a huge effect on the price of the stock that it can be very misleading sometimes. So just be careful if you're making decisions right now about anything for tomorrow. I mean, these stocks will be really interesting where they open up, that's for sure, tomorrow morning. So we didn't think Micron sort of had this kind of a move in it, and then it just absolutely blew up. Just all pre-market, just ticking higher. So we'll see if that can happen tomorrow. A nice little take there for Micron. Looking interesting, that's for sure. Now through, I mean, does it have that $1,000 mark? It's what I asked Brian there. He seemed to think that maybe it does. So a little bit more to go there on Micron. We'll be here talking.
Trillion is a bigger deal than the 1,000.
Yeah, just broke $1 trillion today. The price target today was 1.8 trillion by somebody there. So we'll see if that winds up coming through.
In the chat?
No, upgraded by
Oh, the upgrade, okay.
Argus or Mizuho or somebody like that. So shout out to those guys going crazy on Micron valuation. UBS, there you go.
SoFi paired off a bunch. It was 1.6 to the sell side. It's not 355 yet, but that's actually the big sell on SoFi is paired off a little bit here. Excuse me. And Peloton, that's a bit of a nothing burger. It's all paired. See, this is the problem. I guess it's not good enough. It's supposed to be 27 million. Like the second any interest goes in, they're just pairing the entire thing off. Like a better company might have had more juice to it, but I was expecting a little bit more buying. Intel, 2 million to the buy side. That's going to close near 125. For all the talk about, excuse me, for all the talk about Micron, for all the talk about AMD, for all the talk about ARM, for all these other chip names, Intel just had the quietest 3.5% day you're going to see in a while. This has been just slowly grinding back into its highs. When another name that people would have told you, yeah, but Intel is flying too high, the valuation is too expensive, and yada, 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 all that good stuff. All the same stuff you've been hearing time and time again. It's just that this wasn't, like it wasn't as parabolic as everything else. It's not really back to the top. It did fail that 125, but I think just means it has a chance to break that out tomorrow. As you cannot seem to stop these chip names. You can't. You get your pullback, you pull back, you go bear market territory, and then they go. That's what Intel did. That's what SanDisk did. That's what Micron did. That's what I believe AMD didn't. I don't know if it got 20% off of the highs. I'm sure it got close.
Oh, probably.
That's what ARM did. Did Marvell? I don't know if Marvell pulled back.
It did, yeah, pulled back to 160.
Did it pull back 20% at any point?
I'm not sure about the percentage, but
whatever. You get the idea. So we're always just waiting for the next available dip buy. So at this point, you're at the highs, let them ride, and look for the next dip. That's all you can really do. ARM gave it to you if you were just patient enough to wait around for it. Marvell has earnings, so it's probably the one that is most likely to do it next, because what the heck's going to make the other stocks dip 20%? Right? Like you need some kind of an earnings or the market to pull back to give it to you. I think tomorrow night with Marvell, at least you have an outside chance. Logic says buy all dips. Just buy the dips of the stocks that you like. Nobody has, I don't know, somebody probably has every single one of these. Like I don't own Micron, but I wish I owned more of AMD. I don't. I own ARM and Intel would be the two of the biggest of the ones I just mentioned. And of course, probably too much NVIDIA. Thank you, NVIDIA, for doing a heck of a lot of nothing. But as long as you got your foot in the game, then you're perfectly happy. It's if you don't, you got to try to buy some dips.
yeah, not all dips created the same, of course. All right, so AMD's started to get a little bit of a bump there. It got to 506. I was still waiting at 506.50, so we'll see. I pushed out to 507 right now. We'll see if we get a little bit of an after-hours bump here on advanced micro devices. Let's see where it goes. Anybody want to see Grogu versus Mandalorian or something like that? I have no idea what it's called. But there it is, AMC. A little bit of a better day today, up 5%. I think this is when you want to trade these names. I don't want to say this is a buy. I don't think it is at all. But maybe the summer might, if this is something, up 5%, possibly on that. There are some big blockbusters coming this year, so we'll have to wait to see if AMC keeps coming up to the
lowest
upside there right now. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of things are going to be low, right? It was bad weather on the eastern seaboard this weekend.
I don't think Disney gets to blame Mandalorian and Grogu on the bad weather. I don't know.
I don't know.
I just think from some of the so one of the reviews I heard basically said that it was one of those where everything that was good was apparently in the trailer.
Okay, that makes
which
sense.
is you never want to hear but that's not good for a Star Wars film.
Of course not. And when's the last Star Wars film that's been good?
I mean, I would say Rogue One, but I mean,
I don't know how long ago was that.
I'm sure I can't.
Was that a decade? I'm just trying to say, like,
no,
why do we have high expectations? We don't, right?
At this point, I don't anymore. Right. I really don't. I just think Disney has the opportunity. They could right this ship if they wanted to.
Why wouldn't they want to?
Well, maybe sometimes you need a direction in leadership that they're not willing to change. Because ever since they had certain leadership...
But isn't it writers and all that stuff?
Well, the leadership in terms of... The leadership at Disney,
minutes?
when it comes to who's been sort of deciding what gets put on the air for both Star Wars and Marvel, hasn't been working out. Yet has there been any change? Sometimes you look at failures and you want to make some changes. Look at Intel. Right? You had some failures, you get some different leadership. Okay, fine, the U.S. government and outside market, but you still have to do something.
Yeah.
You can't just do the same thing and expect it to change. And I think there's a tremendous potential with Disney, and it's been going unfulfilled. And I'm not just saying that because I still own Disney shares, and I love everything about Star Wars, and I want them to get.
And that's the thing about movies; we have some creative differences all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I mean,
and I'm trying not to.
Some people, some people think Rogue One. I mean, I saw that there. Some people hated Rogue One. Obviously, some people loved it, and it just goes back and forth.
I think
but
it's the
the
best
ratings.
film they've done.
Yeah, the ratings will tell you the truth at the end of the day, right? I mean,
it's like I'm pretty sure it's the only thing. Stop me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's the only thing they've done in the last decade that's a movie that has a good Rotten Tomatoes score. It's got to be Rogue One. If one of the other ones does too, like Solo does, like none of that stuff does.
No.
It's just that one.
Okay, so shout out to anybody that went out to the theaters this weekend. Saw something there. My daughter and wife saw the Billie Eilish thing a little while ago, and I saw Mortal Kombat 2. I thought it was okay.
How was that? You didn't mention how that.
No, I don't know. It's just
it's
just whatever, fighting, storyline, I don't know. Mortal Kombat, I was just there because my son really appreciates that. Okay, there we go, 404, 504.18, offering it out right now. See if we get, there it is. Runs right through, so we are now out of AMD. Like I said, PLTR number 2 for myself. Only 10 seconds to go here. Nasdaq, wow, what a day. Up 1 3/4%, 1.75%. With 5 seconds to go, we want to thank everybody for watching. We'll put on the same and better show tomorrow. I promise you that. That's going to be live at 8 a.m. So join Neil, myself, Rogue One himself, Sharif, and Adara, and Joe, of course, here tomorrow at 8 a.m. It should be a heck of a lot of fun. Zscaler is
what
really
happened
the
to
one
that
that
in the
we're
afternoon?
looking. Well, they're reporting, so we'll have to wait
Yeah,
to see.
somebody was selling Zscaler.
Yeah. So, it's great. Again, another great show, I think. And, AMD 8% up.
Unbelievable AMD.
Wow.
AMD, Micron, Marvell, you just enjoy the ride, right? You just smile. As long as you have a chip in the game, doesn't matter which one you got. You just got to hang on to it until you can. This market doesn't seem like it wants to stop, and we ain't going to stop. Well, we'll never, basically. But
I'm not here Friday. I'll stop on Friday.
Tomorrow's a big, big day. Because I think every time we get one of these high flyer names.
Oh, aftermarket.
Aftermarket, Marvell aftermarket. So I guess maybe like Thursday will be.
Marvell's such a small market cap.
No, but I think it's a sentiment thing. Right? Like if you get Marvell pulling back and you're looking for pullbacks in some other names, that might be your opportunity. Just because one goes, you might get some dips in the others. And we've seen it. If you miss your chance to buy the dip, you don't get another one oftentimes.
Yep.
Just how it is.
I think that's right. We'll check tomorrow. You know, we called SanDisk. We were yelling at the top of our lungs when SanDisk went to $1,000 on their earnings. We were sitting right here, right at the desk, and Brendan threw it over to me and was like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "SanDisk at $1,000 right there. It's probably going to hold," and it exactly does that on earnings. So just for talking about a pullback, it was up to about 1,200, came back into 1,000 there on earnings, and since then blasted to all-time new highs today. Will we get the same opportunity tomorrow with Marvell? Quite possibly, yes. So we'll wait to see where that goes. Thanks everybody for watching. It's 4:02. We will see everybody tomorrow. Good
Shout
day
out to
today.
Brian.
Shout out to Ryan.
No, Brian.
Oh, Brian. Thanks, Brian. And Ryan. I mean, if you're on there.
I'm sure we got a Ryan.
Shout out to Ryan, Joe, everybody. Thanks, y'all. We'll see you tomorrow. Go Avs.
You like the Avs?
I have the bet with this guy.
Oh, that's why. But you actually.